Deep right. And this one is gone. Clement and Loper Fido go back to back. It is 5-1.
On Sports 1440.
Well hit ball to deep left. And He-Man Pay. Did he ever?
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Field line, and now he hits one hard down the right field line. Will it stay fair? It will. Nathan Lucas just obliterated that ball for a lone 2-run homer down the line. It is 11-1.
Well, a fantastic, positive Friday. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Friday. So much to do this weekend. Elks fans, what's going to happen tonight on the road in Saskatchewan? Cody Fajardo will get the start. Ultimately, I don't think it matters. Like, obviously, it'll help if he makes some completions. But if that defense gives up another 30, it's going to be tough to win. So we'll see what happens tonight for the Elks. Man, it would be a huge win if they could find a way to get one. But it's going to be difficult to say the least for them to find a way to pull out a win tonight. Also, for those of you golf fans, we will hear from actor starring in Happy Gilmore 2. Chris Teton will join us coming up in the 3 o'clock hour today. We will continue our Around the NFL. We'll stop in Buffalo, maybe break some tables, talk a little Bills Mafia. We got Rob Vanstone joining us from Saskatchewan, Spec, Low Tide, Camp Tate. Livingston worked out quite well. He'll be in and talk a little racing. He'll be joining us live from the track, in fact. Also, yesterday, of course, arguably, and I'm not even sure it's like the biggest name in wrestling that really took it to the next level was Hulk Hogan. And he, as a wrestler in his prime, unreal. Now, later in his life, there's definitely some things that, some people didn't necessarily love. Some people loved it. So we'll talk about all of that with Raimondi. He wrote the book, Say Hello to the Bad Guys. And, of course, that talked about Hulk Hogan when he was the heel in NWO. And we'll talk about Hulk's career, of course, because if you were a wrestling fan in the 80s and the 90s, even in the early 2000s, Hulk Hogan was likely the biggest name in wrestling. There was other guys, obviously the Macho Man, the Ultimate Warrior for a time, and there's many others. Of course, eventually then you got The Rock came in. He was pretty big. Stone Cold Steve Austin. But you look at like wrestling today. The thing about Hulk Hogan was, like, my mom knew who Hulk Hogan was. My mom was not a wrestler. I wasn't a wrestling fan at all. Today, and I know that, everything's changed and it's obviously still big, but is there one figure in wrestling today that you think, you know what, non-wrestling fans know? I don't think there is. Right? Like, lots of people know, if you're a non-hockey fan, you've heard of Connor McDavid. Right? You just have. You've heard of Sidney Crosby for sure. Even Ovechkin, as he just made the chase for Gretzky's record and passed him. Right? Obviously, football fans here, you knew who Tom Brady was. They know who Patrick Mahomes is. Obviously, LeBron James, pretty big name. That's what Hulk Hogan was in his prime. Heck, Hulk was probably bigger than a lot of star athletes in their other sports. And, then, of course, he's stars in the Rocky film. So, man, he was bigger than life, huge human being. And really, when you think about it, he might have been the first guy that could pull off the skullet. Tough look, but he's able to pull it off. Wasn't a big deal, but Hulkamania was a massive phenomenon. And I know that wrestling fans will tell you, hey, Hulk wasn't the most technically sound wrestler. Sure. But there's more to things to being successful. There's guys in the NHL who aren't the greatest skaters, but are really productive. But Hulk, I don't think there's anybody bigger than him as a wrestler. So we'll talk about the good and, kind of the late stages of his life with Mark coming up in hour number 1. Also, we'll talk a little Blue Jays. How can you not get on the Blue Jays train? The game last night, they're pumping them. Lauer goes 8 strong, only gives up 1. They gave up 3 runs in the 9th, but it was game over at that point. And so now the big story about the Jays, like, it has been a wild time in MLB. It wasn't long ago. It was actually July 8th that the Detroit Tigers had the best record in MLB. And they were rolling. They were 59-34. And you're like, man, they're going to run away with it. Since then, they're 1-10. You go from having the best record in the game to going 1-10. And now the Brewers and the Jays each have 61 wins. The Brewers technically a half game up because they're 61-41. The Jays are 61-42. But the Jays are the best team in the last 50 games at 35-15 in their last 50 games. Like, they are dominating right now. It's playing 700 ball. It's pretty good. Cubbies, Dodgers, Astros are all 60-42, 60-43, 60-43. And then you got the Tigers now, who have this, are technically 6th at 60-44. Now it's obviously super tight, 6 teams within 1 win. And then you throw in the Mets, who are 59-44, and the Phillies 58-44. And whoo, we got ourselves a hell of a race in lots of in both leagues and lots of the divisions. And this is going to be a spectacular August and September. We got the trade deadline coming down. The Mariners acquire Josh Naylor from the D-backs. The New York Mets acquire Soto. Now, Soto is a guy I know the Jays were looking at. Left-handed pitcher. We talked about this. The left-hander, Gregory Soto, goes to the Mets today for 2 young pitchers. Wellington. What a first name. Like, when you're named Wellington, I would think you're kind of getting a little instant credibility. It's a pretty strong name. Nice to meet you, Wellington. I like it. So Wellington, Aracena, and Cameron Foster are going to Baltimore. So expect a lot of deals here before the end when the trade deadline comes in major leagues. Baseball. Connor Halley, of course. It is the Gregor Show, is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50 and you'll get a free $50 play at PlayAlberta.ca. Also, Lotto Max tonight. It is the Fernando Venezuela. Would he be the most popular? Maybe Nolan Ryan. $34 million up for grabs tonight in Lotto Max. And like, who would be the most popular NHL player who to wear number 34? I'm trying to think of guys. NHL player to wear 34. Like, obviously,
Matthews.
Well, Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
John Van Briesbroek. All right, he would be
Fernando Pisani.
In Edmonton.
In Edmonton.
In Edmonton, sure. In the NHL, Matthews probably definitely amongst active guys for sure. So yeah, but trying to think of other 34s. Johnny Van Beesbrook. Trying to think who else was like a 30. Did Dominic Hasek? Yeah, Dominic Hasek wore 34, but not when he was like starring, if I'm not mistaken. So
one of our weekly guests,
Struddy
in New York and Vancouver.
Oh yeah, but he likes. We asked him; he preferred 43.
Yeah,
right. Jamie McCowan would be another 34 that I'm thinking of off the top of my head. So, it's not a lot of them, right? It's not a lot of 34s. It's definitely more of a baseball number, right? Like, there's be some really good, and Shaquille O'Neal, he was pretty good. So, there's a few others, but not a ton in the NHL. Don 34, I get it. It's kind of more, for a long time, it was like a goalie number, right? In the goalie range, 34, 31, right? Didn't have a lot of kids wearing it, but now it's different. It's totally changed. So it's good. Hey, Gregor, does John Cena count? Well, Cena's more of an actor today than a movie. Like, he's, definitely more of a movie star, I would think, than a wrestler now. Cons, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, he had kind of the heel turn. Was it at WrestleMania where I don't know who he fought. I'm not as up to date as I used to be, but Cena for sure would be, I think, up there. He's been in a lot of movies. The Rock was huge.
Oh, yeah, The Rock was
Obviously,
huge.
kind of made that jump to Hollywood. Other than that, though, I don't know if there's anyone quite like the Hulk. And I'm really looking forward to this, Gregor, because that when I got into wrestling, it was kind of right when NWO got going. And, Hulk turns heel, joins the Outsider, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, the NWO storyline. Like, they took wrestling from WWF and like brought it over to WCW. And that was where it was cool. And the NWO growing, and then, good versus bad, the other guys fighting it. Really looking forward to this one. But yeah, I would say Cena would be the closest.
Stu says, guys, Logan Paul might be the best known wrestler, which says a lot about the state of wrestling right now. Oh, jeez. Yeah, maybe. Thing is funny. I don't even think of, when I think of Logan Paul, I don't think wrestler. I don't at all. So it's kind of weird. So, guys, I hate to break it to you. They're all actors. Timbo, it's Positive Friday. Well, why the hate? I don't understand it. And I know people like to downplay wrestling. Oh, wow, because it's scripted. Sure. You go in the ring, try to do what a lot of those guys do. It is extremely physical. There's no doubt in my mind. Extremely physical. I wouldn't. Hey guys, I think Cody Rhodes might be the biggest name today. Yeah, he's got like the platinum hair. That's right. I got that right, don't I, Cons?
Yeah. I think the neck tattoo as well, I believe. Another trademark feature, even in like a button up, it still shows. Yeah, that's.
Oh, jeez.
And he comes from a long family of wrestling as well,
course.
right?
Yeah, his dad. Kidding me?
Was his dad Goldust? No, that was his uncle, I think.
Was Goldust?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But
and
his
then
dad,
Dusty was the.
Yeah, Dusty was his dad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was. I was like Gold. I'm like, God, did I have his father wrong the whole time? Jeez. Okay, good. So I didn't even know Goldust was related to him, to be honest. That's something I literally just learned today.
Well, maybe he's not.
Oh, okay. Don't make up things on the show, Cons. You better look that up.
I'll look up Goldust. I'm sure someone's going to text it in before. Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So he's his half brother.
Oh, there you go. Things I didn't know.
One of the creepiest wrestlers of all time.
Goldust
came out with like the blonde wig, and he wore the weird suit. He just
he wore like
look at the camera weird.
Yeah, he wore that like yellow suit, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of the right guy.
Yeah, that's him.
Onesie. Classic. Hey guys, I have to admit, I thought the Jays would be absolutely awful. I was ripping on their management all offseason. Clearly, I was wrong. I have to say, this is the most exciting run I've had in a long time as a Jays fan. From Dale. Well, Dale, I think you're in the majority on that one. There wasn't many people who thought the Jays had made a lot of great decisions. I don't know many of us, to be honest. I sure didn't. And they have, and the great part about the Jays is you look at up and down the roster, just look at how many guys that you would have said, well, I didn't think he was going to do that. I didn't think he was going to do that. And it's just, it's almost like never ending. You look at the offense that they're getting. Like, how many people thought Addison Barger would do this? Right? Kirk have another good season. Right? And when guys get in, like Santander has literally hardly done anything for them this year. And they haven't missed him. That's what's crazy. Like, one of their biggest free agent signings hasn't even been a factor. Heineman is having like an unreal year at the plate. The only negative on Heineman was the game where he had, was it 2 or 3? I think it was 3 catcher interference for getting his glove up. But, well, like Joey Loperfido comes up and hits he's hitting like, what is he hitting? 325, 320, something like that. Hit another round tripper last night. Like, they got a lot of guys stepping up. Who thought Lauer was going to be this? Anybody? Honestly, did any of you have him? I sure didn't. So it's been a fun team to watch. And now Vladdy's getting a ton of hits lately, but he still hasn't had like crushing power numbers at all. But, Eric Lauer, Brandon Little has played really well. Jeff Hoffman's come in and been pretty good, right? What is he? I think he's blown 4 saves so far, but still he's got 24. I don't know where that ranks in the league, but it's right up there. So I'm trying to think who does lead the majors and saves. Is it Suarez? Connor, for your San Diegans? I think it's Suarez, right? I'll look that up, but him or Hader, I think, are the two save leaders, but Hoffman's in the top 5, I'm pretty sure.
It is Suarez.
Suarez is leading. What happens? Yeah.
He's got 29, Hader at 27, Estevez 3rd, and then Hoffman is 4th at 24.
Okay, so he's top 5.
Top 5, as he said. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's really good. Huge to have that guy.
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, what is the craziest moment in wrestling that sticks out the most in your minds? Stony C. Now, that's a really good question. Now, the great part about wrestling is everybody's going to have a different memory. But the craziest moment for me, I thought, was Mankind. Nick Foley. Remember, like, how many characters did Nick have? 3 or 4?
Cactus Jack, Dude Love, Mankind.
Yeah. But when he was Mankind, that's when he was like bordering on psychosis, right? Like when he jumped off the cage and fell off, that was the one I'll never forget. I'm just like, oh my God, how's he not dead? Like, how did that not hurt? That had to have hurt a significant amount. And I know that, you train, you learn how to fall properly, but from that height, man, that's the one that sticks out for me. There's lots of other ones. Like, my favorite wrestler was the Ultimate Warrior. I just love his entrance. We'd run around. He's on the top of the ring. He's just going nuts. Oh, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Cons, do you have a craziest wrestling memory?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Mankind getting thrown off. I think his tooth was like coming out his nose from the fall, the impact. I mean, Undertaker and Kane, their matches, when they did like the Buried Alive matches, were always wild to me as a kid.
Yeah.
And then just the Hardy brothers with the Dudley Boys, and I think there might have been another tag team, and they'd have those hardcore matches.
Yeah.
And I think one of the Hardys speared a guy off the ladder. All those matches were mind-blowing to me as a kid. So yeah, the hardcore matches always stood out. But how you can't beat what Mankind did. And even Shane McMahon, like, he didn't have to do the things he did. I mean, he was Nepo baby for sure, but he was going to take over the company, and he's out there jumping off ladders and things of that sort. So he was pretty cool too.
Yeah. Like, obviously one of the most memorable but terrible ones was Owen Hart dying in the ring. Of course, that was awful. But I wasn't watching it live or anything, so it's a little bit different, thankfully. But man, for the people there, brutal. Speaking of that, we are going to talk to a guy who knows way more about wrestling. His author, covered it for a long time at ESPN, and then wrote books. The most recent one, Say Hello to the Bad Guys, which is awesome. Talking about NWO and really how it's funny. Like, Hulk Hogan brought up, WWE, right? WWF, I should say. And he almost took it down when he left, Cons. Like, that's how popular he was. Like, he almost single-handedly, ruined him by him leaving. That's how big of a star he was. And so we'll talk about all that and more when we return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The Discover Days sales event has been extended at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $7,500. Final month extended. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $4,000. Save up to $7,500 on a 2025 demo XC40. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
And here comes Action Electrical service team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
So you're dying from the heat, sweat dripping on your sheets. You want to cool it down, but your AC can't compete. So you fall upon your knees and cry out, oh please, I need a cooling breeze. Stanley Legacy's AC Repairman.
Legacy's AC Repairman.
AC Repairman.
Can't spell legacy without AC. Legacy Heating and Cooling's got a guy who's really good at fixing broken ACs. So if you got one, call Legacy. Okay, see you later. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
New Crust Alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new Cheddar Crust Pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping Cheddar Crust Pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry, though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta, DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
Need the perfect ride? The Golf Cart people have it. They offer a wide selection of new and used models from top brands like Club Car, Yamaha, and E-Z-Go. Whether it's a lifted cart for adventure or a sleek ride for the course, they'll find your match. Customize with accessories or choose a ready-to-go option. Trusted by Albertans since 1997 for quality. Visit golfcartpeople.com to find your cart and hit the road or fairway your way.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth Double E football coverage on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2:23. Welcome back. It is a positive Friday on Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Friday. There's so much sports talk going on. We'll get to all of that and more. Remember, get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca. $34 million tonight up for grabs in Lotto Max. PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time now to get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Silent Rides Charter Company. Now, what's unique about this is on a day like today, we've talked about some of the great tag teams. And I wonder if Dan and Lindsay, the Kell brothers, if they ever out in the old backyard decided to, that maybe they were going to be, Edge and Christian, right? Axe and Smash, right? Bash Brothers. Who knows? There's some unbelievable tag teams, right? I know that, JJ Bear, he could have been like, the mouth of the South. He probably would have been more of a manager. So that's what I think would happen at Silent Rides. I love it. And to talk all things wrestling, guy who covered it for a long time at ESPN, just wrote a book, Say Hello to the Bad Guys, which incredible book if you're a wrestling fan, to kind of understand like just how big Hulk Hogan was and really how big NWO came when they came together as the bad guys, and Hulk became a heel for really the first time in his career. Mark Raimondi joins us. Mark, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, happy to be here.
Well, Mark, obviously, for wrestling fans, I look at Hulk Hogan and like when you look, I'm not like what he did later in his career, after being a wrestler, obviously he's different. We can talk about that. But when he was in his prime, I don't know if there's ever been a more famous global wrestler than Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. So I would say that Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, has probably become more famous than Hulk Hogan was, but that's largely due to his work in Hollywood, right? In movies and television series. Hulk Hogan did some movies and television, but he was really mostly known for professional wrestling. So from a pure wrestling standpoint, there was no one, and there has not been anyone bigger than Hulk Hogan. No one has sold more tickets in the history of the professional wrestling business than Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Okay. And what was it that do you feel? Because I know I talked to real diehard wrestling fans. They're like, well, technically he wasn't the best wrestler, and that's fine. But what was it about him that allowed him to be?
I don't even know what that means, honestly. I don't even know what that means, Jason, because wrestling is a business, and the best person is the one who's headlining the cards and filling the seats and filling the pay-per-views. How is that not Hogan? Okay, maybe you didn't like his style of wrestling. Well, I wasn't a huge fan of his style of wrestling either, but the fact remains that he was the one that was selling the tickets. I mean, the best movies don't always, sell the best, right? They may not win the Oscar, but Hulk Hogan was the one that was putting butts in the seats.
Yeah, and I guess my question was, and I agree with you on it, was like, what made him, be able to grow to that level? Like the person, I joked, man, he was like the first guy who made a skullet look awesome. And he was such a huge human, so that would help for sure. But he just seemed to have like the persona. I don't know when you talk to him, just like, how did he create that? Because it's hard to do, right? Like some guys nowadays, there's more in the mic, but he did it kind of with action, right? Like he put his hand to his ear. Like he had so many unique things. It wasn't just about the microphone.
There's no great answer to that question, Jason. It's like he had this innate ability, this innate, unique charisma to connect with people on a deeper level, to connect with a crowd of people where, if you're in the last seat of a row in a 20,000 seat arena, you're almost feeling like he's doing those gestures and those gesticulations for you and with you. There was just something about him. And he looked the part. He had a great physique. He looked like one of those 1980s action movie heroes, a Stallone or a Schwarzenegger. And in many ways, he was kind of like in that same ilk, right? Blonde hair, blue eyes, built from, Venice Beach, a great tan. Everyone kind of wanted to be him, especially in the 80s. He was a good looking guy. But it was really his ability to connect with the crowd. And there's no formula for that. There's no blueprint. He just had it. He had that it factor. And that, again, allowed him to be simply the biggest star in the history of the business.
And what was unique about I think what showed how big he was when he left, the World Wrestling Federation, like he brought him up and man, he almost took him down really. And that's how big they were. And, you got NWO that comes over and you have him and Nash and Scott Hall, who, those guys together, like they became the bad guys. Because in wrestling for the longest time, you didn't really cheer for the heels, right? Like rarely were the heels more popular, but these guys made being the heel popular.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I wrote about in the book. It was a time period where things were changing culturally. It was a bit of a counterculture revolution in the mid 1990s, and they were at the forefront of that. And music was changing. It was going from the power ballads of the 80s and the New Kids on the Block of the early 90s to Nirvana and Pearl Jam and gangster rap. NWA was big in the 90s and West Side Connection and Dr. Dre and Ice Cube. And the NWO was right there kind of riding that wave and sometimes even setting the pace for that counterculture because they were the anti-hero. They were the villain, but they were the protagonist of the story. And that really was not something that had happened before in wrestling. Usually the bad guys are the supporting character and the good guy, the main good guy is the front man. He's the lead. And that's how Hogan was in the 80s, but he was so good that he became the leading man as the bad guy in the 90s.
Yeah. Which was wild. Right? Now, did you ever talk to him about that? Like it's a big switch to go from the guy that everybody loves and grandmas, you're kissing babies. And now it's just like, you're out there and you got this persona like you're a jerk, and they really blurred the lines of reality and fiction, which was great. That's what made it so good. Did he relish that, or was it difficult to go and be the heel?
It was difficult. It was difficult. And I think a lot of people don't realize what goes into that, because it wasn't as simply as just, let's change up the character. Let's do something different in the storyline. This is the 80s and the 90s. So people are living and dying with wrestling. And some people, they know it's not real, but it still feels real, right? To a lot of people. And Hogan, as the hero, was doing all the charity work, and he was getting the movie roles, and he was, signing the autographs and selling all the merchandise as a good guy, because that's what the good guys did. They were the ones that really made most of the money. And there were people in his circle, I mean, even him included, who were very reluctant to go bad. His agent, his ex-wife, his wife at the time, Linda, they did not want him to be a bad guy, because they saw the potential loss of all those things. It turned out fine, but there were some personal things that he had. His wife talked about how people would come up to him in public, or even worse yet, they would come up to his kids in school and be like, why is your dad doing those things on TV, those terrible things on TV? So it did become a personal issue, and it took him a little while to get used to being a heel. He was certainly effective at it, right? He made a lot of money as a heel, but it was not an easy thing to do.
I couldn't imagine, being Hulk Hogan's kids at school. Like, I know that you have it in, NHL, NFL players, their kids go to school and, they hear some things and it's fine. But wrestling was unique because, if you're in Edmonton where we're at, right, lots of the kids, not all, are Oilers fans. And so if the player plays, if they play for another team, it's maybe they don't see him very often. But wrestling was like, it didn't matter if you lived in Edmonton, you lived in Calgary, you lived in Washington, New York, you were a Hulk fan. And then suddenly maybe you were like a Hulk hater who became a Hulk. Like it was very unique because you had fans in all different cities, where doesn't really happen in sports.
Yeah, and what's even more unique about it, Jason, is like the fact that he's playing a character on television, but everyone just knows him as Hulk Hogan. It's not like, Tom Cruise plays a role in a movie and he moves on and we know him as Tom Cruise if we see him on the street.
Right.
If we see Hulk Hogan on the street, he's Hulk Hogan. He's not Terry Bollea, right? So there's a lot of that blending of real life and fiction, the fiction of the wrestling world. And some people can't really parse those two things and separate them. And that's kind of the point when it comes to wrestling. But that's what leads to people in school coming up to your kids and asking, about, why is your dad doing all these things?
Mark Raimondi joins us. We were talking about Hulk Hogan, of course, who passed away yesterday at the age of 71. Well, as Mark said, no one sold more tickets than Hulk Hogan. So, he's the biggest wrestling name. People remember when he slammed Andre the Giant. Mark, obviously you were a big wrestling fan. Like, do you have a few moments that are like the most memorable for you about Hulk Hogan?
I mean, there's so many. So just on a personal level, my first memory of being a wrestling fan was the lead up to the WrestleMania match in 1990 between Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, yes.
And I was 5 years old. So but the Warrior was kind of the new guy,
yes,
and then like the younger guy with the face paint and the energy. And I was really into the Ultimate Warrior as a kid, as a 5-year-old. He was cool. And Hulk Hogan was Hulk Hogan. And no, I didn't have any hate for Hulk Hogan, but I was very intrigued by the Ultimate Warrior. And I remember the Ultimate Warrior winning that match in Toronto, in Canada, right, at Sky Dome. And the place going crazy, me going crazy. And I've been a wrestling fan really ever since then. But, I mean, there's so many moments, him coming back. First of all, him turning bad and forming the NWO in 96 with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, right? That was a moment that I remember where I was when I watched that. I remember where I was the next day. I was at a day camp and everyone was talking about this. It was like a viral moment before viral was even a thing. It was just landlines, right, Jason? Like people just calling each other and saying like, "Oh my God, did you see Hulk Hogan is bad now?"
Yeah.
In 96. And then when he comes back to WWE 2002, he has the match, the passing of the torch match against The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And the fans decide, again in Toronto, the fans decide we want to cheer Hulk Hogan again. We don't want to cheer The Rock. We want to cheer Hulk Hogan. We want the old Hulk Hogan back, the red and yellow, not the NWO black and white version. And they do that, and he ends up going back and listening to the fans and becoming a good guy again. Incredible stuff.
Well, it's amazing that, two of his most memorable fights came in Canada. And I do remember that Ultimate Warrior one because I was a huge Ultimate Warrior fan. Like I love just his vibrant colors, and I loved his ring, entrance to the ring, and he sprints down. Like, it was just awesome. He was high strung. I thought it was fantastic. You covered, you wrote this book, and the power really of NWO at the end of the day, right? Like, say hello to the bad guys, and how really they kind of changed the perception, I think, of how people viewed the bad guy in wrestling, and what they did to grow it even more. Hulk, in a lot of people's ways, like, they remembered kind of Hulk Hogan, holding babies, grandmas, you mentioned all that, like the red and yellow Hulk, and then he was the bad guy. And then what about like later, like kind of post wrestling career for him? Were people trying to drag him down more? What did you kind of make of like the latter stage of his life, and kind of where he stood there? And do you think that tarnishes anything at all, or is that just a select small few people that are annoyed by it?
I definitely think that his legacy is tarnished because of some of that stuff. I mean, him being caught on video using the N-word and calling himself a racist. I mean, he didn't leave anything open to interpretation. He said, "I'm a racist" to a point. I mean, that is a pretty damning thing to say and be caught on video saying. And he never truly properly atoned for that and apologized for that in the eyes of many people that are in the wrestling industry now and out of it. And I think that is something that, if he would have done a better job kind of just atoning, just saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, and here's what I'm going to do to show you I'm sorry," then I think things would have been different. But he just didn't do that for whatever reason. And I don't know the reason why he didn't, but certainly it's something that casts a dark shadow over what was just an incredible career as a performer, someone who crossed over into pop culture, who did movies and television series in addition to wrestling, and who's kind of a cultural icon, especially like in the United States. He was, again, right up there with like the Stallones and Schwarzeneggers of the 80s. But it's hard to talk about him now, even in death, without mentioning that stuff, the racist comments and some of the other things. There's been other problematic things that he's done as well. He was accused of, domestic abuse by his ex-wife, and a myriad of different things. But, sometimes you have to kind of separate the art from the artist. And I think that could be a situation here, but it is hard to do that.
No, I think it's fair. You have to kind of, he's somewhat of a flawed human being, which is the case for the majority of us. But Hulk Hogan, just as the wrestler in his prime, there was none bigger than him. And you look at wrestling today, Mark, and where do you see that? Obviously, it's evolved and expanded, and it's obviously still very successful, but it's just maybe because there's so much other things going on. Like, wrestling's still good, but there's really no one person that's like the face of wrestling today, is there?
There isn't. And you could make the argument that maybe it's like Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes had a nice run as WWE champion in the last year. But there's no one like a Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock or even a John Cena, who was kind of more recent. There's no one quite like that, and it's hard to develop guys like that. It's hard to. There's no blueprint for creating a star. There's just not. It just kind of happens. It takes the right person at the right time. It's a convergence of many different things, and it just has not quite happened. I think the closest thing WWE has is Roman Reigns, and I think that he will probably end up having a nice Hollywood career when all is said and done as well. He's The Rock's cousin. That also helps. So I think they have. Look, they're doing amazing business, Jason. I mean, they just signed with Netflix for $5 billion, and they're a multi-billion-dollar company, and their business is better than it's ever been. So they're not struggling by any means, but it does not seem like they have that one household name like they used to in yesteryear.
For a guy, I always like to ask this for guys who are like, real into wrestling. If you could go any era and see two guys in their prime, who would you like to see in a match? Any era.
Oh, I love this. Oh my God, I love this. This is amazing. I would love, man, this is so hard because that just leaves the door open for anything.
Yeah.
I would love to, wow, man. I would love to see, we never really got Hogan versus Flair in their primes.
Yeah.
We never really got to see them in their primes.
Yeah.
They only, they never did. They should have done a big WrestleMania match in '92 when Flair was in WWF, but it did not come together. And I would have loved to have seen a match between them like in '90 or '91, even in the late '80s, because you could make the argument that even though Flair was wrestling into the 2010s, that his prime was probably somewhere in the late '80s. And I would have loved to have seen, because to me those are the guys like from when I grew up. It was Hogan and Flair. It was Hogan on one channel, and it was Flair on the other channel. Those were the guys, right?
Yeah.
And I would love to have seen what they would have done if they were both in their primes.
Well, that's a good one, man. Ric Flair and the woohoo. Oh, geez. And just a little stomp. There's lots of, it'd be unbelievable. It'd be like asking me, like, wow, for one more fun one. What about a tag team that you would like? 2 tag teams going head
Favorite 2 tag teams? Oh, man. I love tag team wrestling. I absolutely love tag team wrestling. I would say maybe Prime Rock and Roll Express versus the Young Bucks of today. I don't know if you know that name.
I do not know. Who's the Young Bucks today?
So they're a tag team, and they're one of the founders of AEW, which is the number 2 promotion in North America.
Yeah.
And they are an absolutely incredible tag team. Right. And of course the Rock and Roll Express is the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should look into some Young Bucks stuff because they are phenomenal. Phenomenal. They were in Japan. They're from California, but they were in Japan, and now they wrestle for AEW.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Mark, thanks so much for this, man. I really appreciate it. Once again, any wrestling fans out there, highly recommend checking out the book, Say Hello to the Bad Guys, and I like how you put it to start. You know what? It really, changed everything in wrestling. That people cheered for the bad guy because that didn't really happen before NWO. So it's awesome. Thanks so much, man. For Mark, we really appreciate this.
Thanks, man.
There's Mark Raimondi, author, of course, a long time worked at ESPN covering wrestling, being a fan, obviously, since he was a kid. And it's great to talk wrestling. Like, if you had to put, we could get into it even more, like who you would like to see and why. And, who was your, because everybody's, the great part about wrestling was you could have different, there wasn't anybody that I really hated. Some I didn't like some were popular, and I'm like, I don't really love them, that much. To me, obviously, I was probably a little biased growing up watching Stampede Wrestling first, and then coming up and to see, Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil when they were together, right? Hart alone, but, when they were a tag team was unreal. In high school, a buddy of mine, Mark Coughlin, actually in high school, we used to go around school and we thought we were Demolition. We were Axe and Smash, right? And so, like you pick the one guy up and kind of hold him over your knee, and Coughlin, like he would come down and just hammer him. Oh, it was funny. It's hilarious. So I just, you things that you think of and how wrestling was just fun, right? Like some of these serious Sallies who like, you guys know it was scripted. Yeah. Thanks, Tips. We all know that. That doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It was fun storylines, and, it was really good athleticism. Like, I still remember the Cuban Assassin. He might've been, and I don't know if Cons and Donovan even know who the Cuban Assassin was, but the Cuban Assassin was in Stampede Wrestling, and he had like a big fro, and he used to wear these like green army pants, and he always would have like weapons that he would hide in there. And Ed Whalen would lose his mind. Like, Ed was unbelievable at making the broadcast feel like, oh my God, this guy, he does really have a weapon. And sure, he had the weapon and brass knuckles or everything they would bring out. And like, he hated Duke Myers when he had his glove on. Like, oh, it was unreal. Like, it's just fun. Right? And I know my son's at the age, and he'll stop and watch wrestling a little bit now. Now, to me, when it used to be wrestling, and it's like anything, what you grew up with, you have a tendency to be a little bit more biased towards. That's what you like. And there's nothing wrong with it. They talk about the whole psychology of the human brain, and a lot of the music that you loved in your late teenage years, that's still, not always, but in a lot of cases, that's still your favorite music today. Right? It just, for whatever reasons, brain, maybe sitting in your room lots more than you ever did, and you're listening to music, you loved it. You didn't have as many cares in the world back then, so it was awesome. And to me, I watched wrestling when, there was interviews, and Ed would interview guys in the ring, but like, they weren't talking all the time, where nowadays half of it is about can you get on the mic and can you be a good trash talker? And it's great. But I just like when they would do a little bit of trash talking and more of the wrestling, and maybe you'd bring out a brass knuckle or something else, and they cheat and the fans would go crazy. And I still remember my first ever experience at Stampede Wrestling, the old Edmonton Gardens. I'd never been there before. And I remember walking in, and you got to remember, I was, I think 9 or 10, different time back then. And we go into the Edmonton Gardens. And, it's kind of dungy, small place, not like the arenas you go to now. Everything's bright and lit up, and you got like anything you can get that you want, you pretty much can get. It's overpriced, but still it's shiny and bright. The old Edmonton Gardens. And where we were sitting, we just happened to sit about our seats 3 and 4. And I don't know if my dad knew it or not, but where the wrestlers would walk out was the aisle was right by our section. And so I would see like grown men, and like the wrestlers would be walking down, and they'd be like I saw women. I don't think I'd ever seen a woman spit before. And I saw these women like spitting on the wrestlers. Like they were just like, this is real, man. This guy's a heel. I hate him. Like they were so into it. I was like, as a kid, like, oh my God, this is real. Like, geez, this guy's a real bad guy. I hate him. Oh, it was awesome. So good. So we'll probably talk a little bit more wrestling when we return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions, take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's gonna love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
An electrical solar team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
This summer, get it done with Bashaw Concrete Products. The highest quality ready mix and gravel with quick, dependable delivery across central Alberta. Call now for your free quote from their friendly, helpful team. Bashaw Concrete Products also offers precast water pads for your cattle, garage sumps, and water cisterns. And if your farm, acreage, or cabin needs a new septic tank, remember, their CSA-approved tanks include a 20-year limited replacement warranty. Can't beat that. Visit BashawConcrete.com and follow them on Facebook.
Catch all the summer sports action right here. Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Selly's is where sports fans cheer loud and proud for their favorite team. There's never a bad seat in the house. Game night food and drink features. Tons of screens. Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Sports this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Jump on OTR's party shuttle buses to Elks games, Riverhawks games, and concerts at Commonwealth. To see all upcoming bus events, visit ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2.50. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Friday. Of course, Elks in action tonight on the road, taking on Saskatchewan. Roughriders, Cody Fajardo will get his first start as a member of the Green and Gold, taking on one of the teams he used to play for. And we'll see Elks offense wants to get back on track. Their defense needs to get on track. Not going to be an easy test. Our own Declan Kruger making the trek down with his mom, or as like a birthday gift. So he'll be in attendance. Have a big report about that at Elks Nation and talking about it Monday on the show. Lots and lots of texts coming in. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our inbox. Hey, Greg's, imagine being in high school and standing at the Mohawk bus stop on 16th Ave in Calgary and having the Cuban assassin and Axel Foley wrestler revive in character and get on the same bus, staring down riders, and then see them at the old Stampede Corral that Friday night. Was unreal. Mark. Well, see, that was the great part, right? Like, they were a character, right? They played a persona, and the best ones played it incredibly well. Gregor, I can't believe you mentioned Duke Myers. I'd totally forgotten about the glove. It's unreal. Oh, but don't you remember when Duke Myers and Kerry Brown were partners together? Oh, like Duke would also, like, sometimes he'd pull something out of his glove, and Cons, it was like it was literally a black leather glove on his hand. And like when his finishing move, it was like he could choke a guy out because he was wearing the glove. Like, it's so funny to think about now, and how it worked. But it's too funny. So,
but like, you buy into those kind of gimmicks, right? Like, Miss Mankind would pull Mr. Socko and be like, "What is it?" And he just like stick Mr. Socko down someone's throat. It was weird stuff, and probably wouldn't do too much damage. You just breathe out your nose. But yeah, like that type of thing. It's funny how we bought into it as kids, and I love those gimmicks. I love when they'd reach under the ring and like, oh, what's he gonna grab? Is it gonna be a bat, a steel chair, a table? It was just like the best drama you could get, especially as a kid. Like, I was 9-10 during the WWF, what do they call it? The Attitude Era. And they were in that battle, the Monday Night Wars with WCW. It was awesome.
Oh, it was like, I think it depends. A certain time in your life is where you could really get into. But here's the thing: it can impact you a different life. It's the one thing I have lots of great memories of my grandfather on my mom's side, and like him and I, we played hours together as crib. That's my favorite memory. But the other thing I do remember, I don't know if I ever saw my grandpa watch TV except for Saturday afternoon Stampede Wrestling, and I want to say it started at 3:00. Somebody out there, I'm sure it was 3, maybe it was 2. It was either 2 or 3 usually. And I just remember that being like, you'd be playing, all of a sudden you come in the house, but there was no talking, and you watch Stampede Wrestling. And I was just like, God, this, like, my grandpa likes Stampede Wrestling. This is unreal. So that's what I thought was incredibly cool about it. Different generations, you see in crowds, people go in there. My dad taking me. That was really the only time I went to the Gardens. I thought it was unreal. Another time I remember later on, it was in Beaumont. And one of our buddies got kicked out because rest in peace, Ryan Bacon. But he actually got kicked out for throwing something at the which in hindsight, I look back and I'm like, well, geez, it's a little different times. These ladies were spitting on him and that was allowed. But obviously 10 years later, well, not even 10, probably, I don't know what year that was. It might have been 17, 18 when he got kicked out. So, hey, Greg's, it was definitely 3:00. We used to come in from the field from harvesting to watch it from HD. I knew it. Yes, 3:00, buddy. It was unreal. So good. And then when we moved into Leduc and we had cable TV back then, WWF, it came on Saturday night at midnight. Now, I don't know if that was, but that's the only time. So I would like sneak and stay up late and downstairs, and I would turn it on and watch it quietly. And then once we got a VCR, then you would record it. And I don't know how many people out there used to watch the wrestling at midnight, but man, I thought it was like the greatest thing. So, favorite wrestler all time or favorite wrestling memory, let us know, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, I went to wrestling in the old Saskatoon Arena. I stood right beside Andre the Giant. It looked like his head touched the ceiling. Massive, from Kevin. Oh, he was a huge human. Absolutely huge. Hey, Greg's, I remember when my father, rest his soul, took me, my bro, and my cousin to wrestling in Northland, and Andre the Giant came out. We were in the first row in the upper bowl. I can tell you seeing Andre the Giant in person as a kid, remember just as a kid, just how big he was. Yeah, well, you think about that. Like, that guy was 7 feet tall and, like, massive. Absolutely massive. Hey, guys, great segment. I grew up in India in the 90s with a heavy dose of wrestling. I recall my cousins who lived in the USA at the time telling me that these wrestlers would go have a beer together after their match, and it just ruined it for me. I always thought they actually hated each other. It's more enjoyable without the knowledge, for sure, from Sam. Well, it is true. In a way, you're kind of like, what? They like each other, where they're putting on a show, and you're just like, these guys really hate each other. And you'd pick a side, and that's who you wanted. So, hey, guys, J.R. Foley. There's a party, Ed Whalen, and you're not invited. Or Money Talks, Ed. Money Talks. He was the best from Nooch in Camrose. Oh, J.R. Foley. Because that was the other part, Cons. Like some of the managers, like Bobby the Brain Heenan, like they made it great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and I think that might have been a good way. Maybe these wrestlers weren't quite as savvy on the mic, but you get someone who's just the mouth of the South, or, Paul Bear was always creepy. And then,
although he didn't really say much, right? He just,
occasionally, but he kind of had that look too, right? Coming out with the urn and things like that. Bringing the women into it a little bit more, as well as the manager and things like that. Yeah, they kind of did it all. And I was a big fan of that. Like, hey, who didn't like Sonny as a kid? If you're in my age groups, everyone was a big fan of Sonny.
Hey, guys, when DX turned on Randy Orton after he won the belt, I was so mad. Well, that's part of it, right? Because you kind of start to like a character. And then when all of a sudden they go against with what you like, that's what, to me, was great writing about it, is they really get you in. And then all of a sudden, there's like this complete 180 that you're not expecting. And like you can't tell me that some of you, it just didn't get you emotionally. Like, you get pretty fired up. Hey, guys, true story. My fantasy football team is called the Cuban Assassins. It's a sick name, actually. Sick name. Hey, guys, favorite memory, either the Hulk slamming Andre or Superfly Snuka slamming someone from off the top of the cage. Like, I could fly across the ring, too. That one comes from Stony C. I like it. Hey, Gregor, there's nothing positive about wrestling. The athletes are used, abused, no healthcare, no retirement fund. It's a horrible industry. And if you're a fan, you should demand better for the athletes that you like. Is it that way still? Because there's lots of professional wrestlers who have done pretty well for themselves. I think there's some maybe that don't, but I'd have to look into that a little bit more. Now, are you saying it's still that way now? It used to be bad. That's fair. I don't discount it. But when you look at a lot of the wrestlers, now, are some not doing well? Very true. But there's some in hockey and basketball and others that don't do well. They just don't manage their money well. So it's unfortunate, but. Hey, guys, the Cuban Assassin's hairdo, courtesy of Okanagan Helicopters. Oh, hey, guys, Ed Whalen attacking Tiger Tommaso with his microphone was classic. All I remember is the Cubans got a can opener. Oh, well, that was Ed Whalen. That's what made, and I remember when I found out that Ed Whalen was also the voice of the Calgary Flames. And I was kind of like, what? That's what I was kind of like, this. I only saw him as the Stampede wrestling guy. That's it. Hey guys, I sold programs at All-Star Wrestling in Kamloops when I was 13. I saw the wrestlers walking through their routines before the night began. I was stunned. It broke my heart. But I guess, there's certain things in life when you think it's real and then you find out it's not. That can be tough. Right? Can definitely be tough. Hey, boys, do you remember the Hart Foundation feud, Canada versus USA? That was sick from Vinny. You know, Vinny, we were just talking about that in the last commercial break. Like, they made it literally because Connor and Donovan both asked me, did they make the Cuban assassin political? I'm like, no, not at all. Like, the first time I really remember that was the Iron Sheik is when they made it, a little bit of a political one. But then when you had it really Canada versus the USA, like, that was awesome as a Canadian, right? Because you had a lot of really good Canadian wrestlers. The Hart brothers, of course, Davey Boy Smith, even though technically I know it came from Canada, but obviously was British originally. And oh man, it was awesome. And what's Tom? What was Tom's name? The big dude who's also from Canada. I can't remember his name right now, but somebody out there will tell me. So, oh man, I could go down wrestling memory lane all the time. It's fantastic. We'll come back. We're going to talk a little movies with you next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Here's a Command Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer. LegacyHeating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Busy day for Edmonton teams. Week 8 in the CFL continues. Elks taking on the Riders. Cody Fajardo making his first start at QB for the Green and Gold. That gets going at 7. The Riverhawks taking on Kelowna. That gets going at 7:35. And in the CEBL, Stingers continue their road trip in Winnipeg. Tip off 6:30. Blue Jays looking to make it 2 straight against the Tigers when they meet in Detroit. First pitch 5:10. And in the WNBA, 3 games. Phoenix in New York, Vegas State, Minnesota, and Golden State hosting Dallas. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by actor Chris Teton. Also, we'll talk some Buffalo Bills with Josh Reed and speed things up in the Cantork Racing Report with Colin Livingston. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca. The Discover Days sales event has been extended at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $7,500. Final month extended. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $4,000. Save up to $7,500 on a 2025 demo XC40. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way. Calgary rules.
But when it comes to the best snack for 3-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhock Beef Jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhock Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensors, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
3:05 on a positive Friday. How are you? It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Remember tonight, Lotto Max, $34 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. And also, you know what? You can get your tickets, and many of you are going to sit down tonight and be watching Happy Gilmore 2, which, of course, came out today on Netflix. And it's a movie, like, who didn't love the original? Are you kidding me? It's a classic with Adam Sandler. Like, the Bob Barker, it's funny. When you think of all the scenes in the movie, like, oh, Shooter McGavin, though, are you kidding me? Like, the best. You eat pieces for breakfast. That's still one of the greatest comeback lines. God, it was funny. And Shooter, he's been unreal since, man. Oh, he was kind of like a heel that you kind of liked. So it was awesome. And to talk about it, somebody who's in the movie, of course, actor and writer Chris Teton joins us. Chris, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me. Thank you so much. I'm here with the Happy Gilmore putter.
Ooh, right now, how's your putting skills?
Made by Odyssey. They could always get better.
Oh, yeah, yes. So, okay, that's fair. That's a very honest comment that pretty much the majority of us feel the exact same way.
I don't want to lie to you. Not great. How about that? Not great.
Yeah, no, that's unless your name's Scotty Scheffler right now, you probably could say I need to improve my putting.
Dude, Scotty's in the movie. Scotty came to the premiere Monday, and he brought the trophy he just won.
Come on.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Oh, buddy, that's awesome. Well, and it seems like such a down-to-earth guy too, which is fantastic. So, Chris, I want to kind of take us through this. I got a lot to talk to you about here today. So, obviously, we're not going to give it away. We want everybody to watch it. But kind of how was filming this? Because it's hard to make a movie so many years after the original, I would think.
Yeah, especially a perfect movie. I mean, Happy Gilmore 1 doesn't get more perfect than it already is. So, making the sequel, I think, everyone was worried. We were really, really careful. But I think we knocked it out of the park. It's fantastic.
It was interesting. I saw an interview with Adam Sandler afterwards, and he said if there's one thing he would have done, he goes, I would have had a younger Happy. That was his words, not mine. And so I don't know if you obviously you and Adam are super close. So what did you make of that? I found it was like an interesting cut. It wasn't like the whole focus. He just said, you know what, like maybe if there's one thing I would have done different, it was to make, a younger Happy is what he said.
There's so much young Happy in the movie, though. I don't know what he meant. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So I was just kind of curious. So there's now when you say there's lots of young Happy, so are we going like back in time a little bit in Happy too?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes audiences need to be reminded. It's been 30 years, man. I need to be reminded where something's happening and it jumps back really quick to remind everyone. That happens a few times.
Because if my math is correct, you were like, I'm not even sure if you were a teenager when Happy came out the first time, right? Like maybe in their early teens, maybe a preteen.
Jason, I was 13 years old, and that is prime time movie watching. Yes. I had no car, no money, no job. I mean, you had theater. That's all. You had the movies. And I went to go see Happy Gilmore, not really knowing what it was. Adam's just some guy on SNL now. I remember sneaking back in later that night.
What was, like, we were talking about it earlier, like I have a few favorite memories. Obviously the Bob Barker, because it's Bob Barker, right? And the fight scene is pretty funny. But just the return line, I ate pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit. Oh, that line comeback is probably my favorite one of the movie. Do you have anything that stood out from the original?
Man, I mean, he really did a good job with it. He wrote everyone, the old characters, like their son or their daughter. He wrote a role like that. And all those little 2 or 3 line roles, celebrities wanted them because it's Happy Gilmore. So there's so many cameos in it. I mean, Scheffler's great in it. Bryson DeChambeau's in it. You got, of course, Christopher McDonald. He's Shooter McGavin. Eminem did a cameo. It's pretty good, man. Posty's in it.
Shooter McGavin is, it's like, he, even on Twitter, Like he personifies that character 30 years later. Like he's one of the people that you follow on Twitter. You're like, I know this is a character, but I still feel like he's so true. Like it's unbelievable when you're in with him shooting. Is he shooter all the time?
I mean, he's Christopher all the time, but if you're a random person and you yell shooter at him, he'll finger gun you back. I assure you.
Have you done it? Like, has he finger gunned you?
No, but I've been in a conversation with him, and someone will just walk by and go, "Oh, shooter," and he'll go like that.
Just doesn't miss a beat. Right back to it. Oh,
he's so good. I mean, he's known for that iconic character.
Yes.
Man, I hope that one day I'm known for one character. He really likes it.
So, Chris, tell us maybe a little bit of. I know you can't give away too much, but what's your role? What are you expecting from you in this film?
I get beat up by Happy Gilmore pretty fast too. I'd say within the first 3 minutes of the movie.
So you're the anti Bob Barker.
I'm the anti Bob Barker. Man, I wish that's a really good title. Happy sees me trying to steal his Ferrari and beats me to hell. Of course, he finds out that I'm the repo man because he missed a payment. So I sue him for money.
Oh, all right.
It's a fun script.
Yeah. So when you mentioned how, so many people, when they get approached, are like, yeah, it's Happy Gilmore, I want to be in it. So kind of similar to you, this is like a no-brainer. And you're just like, or you're like, hey, Adam, like, I got to get in this. Like, this is, there's certain times, maybe, I don't know how that brother-in-law relationship is, but is this one where you say, like, I would never ask, but I'm going to ask. I don't care if it's one line, I want to be in it.
Man, I do want to be in it. I would do anything to be in it. This is always the same thing where he's writing the script and he sends me a text and says, hey, I got this for you. It's always small. I try to make it bigger.
Right. Now, I want to go back because you mentioned you were 13 years old when you saw Happy Gilmore. And yeah. I was looking now, but you were, I think, early 20s when your sister marries Adam Sandler, right? Were you that old? And when
I'm right now. Yeah, right now I was 13, but now I'm older, and I just wrote a script called 80K to Blow. My last one I wrote was Home Team. It was Kevin James's movie. Do you know Kevin James? He plays Paul Blart.
Of course we know.
Yeah,
Kevin.
That was my last one, and it was called Home Team. It did really well, and now we wrote a new script called 80K to Blow.
And so, what's that about?
That is about 4 guys who all grew up together. Now they're 35, 40, and they live in different parts of the country. But they get together one weekend every single year. And it's a special weekend because these aren't rich guys, but they each bring $20,000 to this weekend. So they live really poor all year long.
The whole year for one weekend of fun?
For one weekend, to feel like millionaires every year for one weekend. This year it's in Miami, and together they have 80K to blow.
80? Okay, 80K. You know what's hilarious about that, Chris, is that doesn't even seem like that far-fetched of a theme. When you think of friends who will plan, because I have a guy trip coming up to 16. We've done this now for I don't know how many years. Now, we don't necessarily all bring 20 grand to it, but the point is guys will plan 6 months out. Or in our case, we've had it the same weekend for 15 years. Like this guy road trip is not far-fetched at all. Now, the 20 grand, but what's going to happen is there'll be guys who will watch your movie and then say, we're going to do that. Whether it's 5 grand, whether it's 10 grand, whether it's 20 grand. Like it's actually a very plausible script.
I know it's not that crazy, right?
No, it's not. It's not that crazy at all. So
it's a good idea. I hope people see the movie and start doing it.
Now, as a writer, because, obviously you're a writer and an actor, everything you write, do you always write it with the thought of, I want to star in it?
Not the star. I always write myself a role. I wish I was the star, but if I wrote it with the idea that I'm a star, I wouldn't sell a script.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe not starring it, but like, you joked earlier, like, hey, I get a role. I always try to make it a bigger role. So when you're writing for yourself, though, do you have to start writing yourself a little bigger role to say, okay, you know what? Maybe I should give myself a few more lines or not? Is it hard to write a role for yourself?
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I'll be there writing it. The main idea is to sell the script, so I won't give myself that many lines. But yeah, I mean, I'll write a role for myself with my name. So so I don't forget exactly, oh, I'm going to be this character.
So when you say sell a script, I think a lot of listeners don't maybe understand that process. Can you take us through? So you write the script, and obviously you've been writing for a long time. Like, is it like a presentation? Is it almost like a job interview when you go in there to sell this? How do you go in to present and pitch it? Like, is it an hour? Is it a half an hour? Or like, how does it work to get it from script to actually production?
Well, I mean, it's a contract, so really it's different every time. Just like if I was to ask you, this is a radio show? How does a radio show contract work? You'd say, well, for me or for this person, I can tell you how mine worked, where I wrote the script and Netflix liked it. And essentially them buying the script and them making the movie are two different things. So now we have to make it, and it should be out in, I'd say, a year and a half, maybe 2. It shoots in Miami, so I don't want to be there in the summer. We're either going to hit this winter or the next winter.
So have you decided on who's starring in, like who's going to be the 4 guys?
No, I mean, that's who's available and who's funny. I have a dream cast. I really want that new guy, Shane Gillis. You know who that is?
Oh, yeah. I was just on the ESPYs.
Dude, that guy's funny.
Yeah. So when you write a script like that, do you write it okay, like I'm shooting for Shane Gillis, so I'm going to write it thinking that this is a character that he would want to play? Or is
sure.
that?
I mean, it would be someone outside his comfort zone, like, narrowly. But yeah, I mean, I wrote it with him in mind. I wrote the star with Zac Efron in mind.
Okay.
Another character I wrote with, do you know who Chris Redd is? He's on SNL, or was on SNL.
Yeah.
I wrote it with him in mind, and then I wrote another character with me in mind.
So you're one of the 4, or you're one of the supporting?
Well, as of now, but you know how that goes.
Okay. Well, so who ultimately decides then on casting? Do you have if you're the writer, do you get a say in casting?
Yeah, I mean, I think, but as an actor on a movie, I get 0% say, and as a writer, hey, I'm in there. I'd say 10 to 12%.
10 to 12. Okay, so you got to say at least you're getting to play.
I'm in the room while the conversation happens.
Yeah, you're not just sitting in the dugout, is what you're telling us here.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris Teton joins us, of course. Happy Gilmore 2 out today on Netflix. And lots of people are going to be streaming it tonight. It's going to be massive, as you mentioned. It's 30 years since Happy 1. Is there talk? Will we see a Happy 3, or is Happy 2 done?
Oh man, Happy 2 just came out today. Let's watch that one. I don't know if Happy 3 is coming out. You know what? It depends on you guys. It depends on you guys if you want one or not.
Is there anything in the movie that surprised you?
Bad Bunny is so funny. Now, I think of everyone as being a funny person, and we'll get it out of them, but Bad Bunny is an extra step hilarious person.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So what was it that made Bad Bunny funnier than you were expecting?
His facial expressions, his timing, he's got it. It's funny is not really about what you say, but if you say it in the right slot, and he knows the slot.
Okay. Now, outside of the 80K movie, how long did it take you to? I'm curious about how many. I've talked to a lot of authors about writing a book, and it's a similar thing. But how long does it take you? You've written lots of different ones, so I know there's not a set time. But does it? I put it down, I start it, and I come back to it. Are you a guy sometimes you can just crush it out in 2 weeks? Like, how long would it take to write one?
No, I'm not that much of a ninja yet. I wish I was. I would say it started out, it took me about a year and a half, and then I got it down to a year, and now it's down to like 7 months.
And so when you say a ninja, like who is a writer that you've gotten to know that you're just like, man, like they're the
okay, so Adam writes all his movies, right? Except for Uncut Gems and the dramas. But him and his best friend Tim Hurley write the movies together. They wrote Grown Ups 2, I think, in 13 days or something crazy. Because really what it is they're writing it in their head for years prior. So now it's just taking what's in their head and putting it down on paper. It really comes down to how fast you can type.
So are you then, when you're out just in normal day life, right? Chris is out, he's for a jog or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Do you come across scenarios and you're just like, oh God, okay, this is something are you always kind of thinking like that as a writer?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like when you're out and you see, I don't care, you're out for dinner and you just see, like I look at Seinfeld and like they made a show about nothing. I thought it was unbelievably genius, right?
Right, yeah.
They had lots of like real life things that the average person would get into. So when you're out for dinner or whatever, do you come across something that just stands out and you'd make it like a little notes in your eye?
I have a notes section and I write down jokes, man. I write it down. You see if there's something.
And so do you lean more than to the humorous side? Like, is that naturally what comes best to you? Could you write a drama? Like a real hardcore drama?
I tried to write a drama. I wasn't good at it. I only really write comedy.
Now, why do you think that is?
I don't know. I guess I was always the funny kid at the lunch table in South Florida.
Okay.
And you know, I came to LA and wanted to sit at the big table and see if I was funny there. I've always just thought of like, you know, funny as self-worth, I think.
Chris, I got a lot of texts coming in from people asking if you could give advice to somebody trying to get to be a writer.
Yeah.
What do you got to do?
This is what I would do. I would write 10 5-page stories that are good. Edit them, you know, take the year.
10 5-page stories. Okay.
10 5-page stories. And then that's like almost like having a reel. Like a sample, and then send it out to writing agents. You can find that online. Send it out to 50. Probably 10 will read it, and 5 will call you back, and 2 will want meetings, and hopefully 1 signs you. That's how you get started, man.
What was the first thing you wrote?
Oh, God. What was it called? I can't remember, but I wrote a really raunchy comedy. It wasn't good at all. It was so bad. I remember I made Adam read it and he read it and he's like, "This ain't it, kid." And I was like, "Yeah, I thought so." And that was it. I've written, I think, 8 scripts now and I've only sold 2. So there's 6 out there.
So there's 6 out, but so you've written 8. So really so when did you start like committing yourself to say, okay, you know, like I'm now a full-fledged writer?
I'm not a full-fledged writer. I mean, I still act a lot. I got a Subway commercial out right now. I got Happy Gilmore 2 out. I got a Snickers commercial dropping. But, you know, writing's fun, man. What happened, you know, no one was giving me roles that I wanted. So I started writing my own roles. I wrote that movie Home Team, Kevin James's last movie. And I got myself a good role in it. It's still to this day the biggest role I've ever had because I wrote it for me.
Now, Chris, if I'm not mistaken, do you not have a good Edmonton story?
I do have a good Edmonton story.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so I was on a show called Californication. Remember that show on Showtime?
Okay, yeah.
David Duchovny?
Yes.
And I was like his buddy on the show, and then the kid that played his son was a kid named Oliver Cooper, and we became really tight, best friends.
Okay.
Oliver is the star of a movie called Project X, and it's about a big party and the house, catches on fire. And have you seen Project X?
I have not. No.
Most people have. Anyways, it's a party movie.
Okay.
And he had just shot it, so we're on set together, and he would say, "Oh, I just got a text. My manager wants me to go to, you know, Buffalo or wherever it is for a Project X party at a club.
Okay.
I get paid 10 grand cash, blah, blah, blah." So he gets a text from a club in Edmonton. I can't remember the name, but it was a club in Edmonton. And he looks at me and he goes, "You know, we could go if you want." And I go, "They pay for me too?" He goes, "Yup." So me and him flew to Edmonton.
What year is this? Like how old?
13 or 14 years ago.
13, 4. So we're talking 2011. I'm trying to think of like the big clubs.
It was a big club. It was like a country feel.
Oh yeah, like Cook County.
Keep going. What else?
Cowboys.
Maybe.
Oil.
Anyway, we had the best night ever. I remember he came out to the Project X song. It was. I mean, he flew in, went to the club, flew out. It was. I love Edmonton. It was the best night, man.
I'm guessing it might have been Oil City, right on Jasper Ave.
Oil City sounds right.
Yeah, Oil City, right on Jasper. I was like it was one level, right? There wasn't 2 levels at the bar; it was just one level.
One level, and then there was like a basement.
Yeah. Okay,
but that was for like him, for Oliver and me to go.
Right. Yeah. Like down. Yeah, like a private room in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm 90% sure. That was,
it was a fun night, man. I love Edmonton.
Oh, so now how often did you go just to clubs like that in your career? You still do it?
No, of course not. I think maybe we went like 2 or 3 more times. That was it. It was cool because they would give him money and I would just be there for free. So it was a good time. It was a good weekend.
Chris, if you can give one teaser to our audience, what's coming in Happy Gilmore 2 tonight?
Man, Happy Gilmore 2 is constant laughs. I mean, there's a laugh like every 4 or 5 seconds. So you really almost have to watch it twice because you're laughing while the next joke happens. We took care of it this time. We really, really minded our P's and Q's. It is a perfect movie, just like Happy Gilmore 1.
Who was your favorite cameo?
I mean, I'm a 90s kid, man. Eminem. Seeing Eminem.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah. So did you get to meet him?
Was pretty cool. Yeah, I met Eminem. He's a lyricist. That's really what he is. So like during conversation, he'll break into raps. He's smart. He's quick.
Oh well, yeah, dude. That's you're not gonna be a rapper on stage without being quick-witted, I would think.
Yeah, exactly.
At least in 8 Mile, that's what it looked like to me. So we'll have to see. Well, Chris, congratulations on this. We're looking forward. So you're saying maybe 12 to 24 months is when 80K is coming out?
Yeah, I mean, we got to shoot it first. We got to cast it, shoot it, edit. It's a whole thing.
Oh, well, I can tell you right now that I will want to watch it because I think most guys will be able to relate. Because of the 4 characters, anybody who has a group of 4 buddies, there's usually a common theme amongst like my 4 group of friends and then your 4 group of friends. If they got together, you'd be like, okay, these 2 are kind of similar. And there's the one loud kind of guy who just does dumb stuff. Like he's a super good guy, but he just does dumb stuff, right? Makes bad decisions. There's always one of those guys in the group, and every group needs one because that's what everybody likes to laugh. So.
My guy's name is Chad.
Yeah, there you go. See, in our group, it's Hutch. Hutch is a classic. We love him, but he makes some great decisions at times.
Hutch and Chad should never hang out together, ever.
Awesome. Chris, thanks for this, man. We'll enjoy it. We're all looking forward to seeing Happy Gilmore 2 tonight.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me.
There you go. That's Chris Teton starring in not starring. He would probably shoot me for saying that, but he is in that movie Happy Gilmore 2, and it's available today on Netflix. We will return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
You have a choice, and it's a hard one. GMC employee pricing or 0% financing at Wolf GMC Buick. A hard choice, but also super awesome. Get GMC employee pricing on our Sierra lineup, from the Sierra half-ton to the heavy duties. If you have cash, get discounts over $12,000 on many of our Sierras, along with GMC pricing. Or choose 0% financing on our Sierra half-ton lineup. And what a great selection of GMC Terrains and fabulous Buick SUVs to pick from. So many choices. But one thing's for sure, you are getting the best deal at Wolf GMC Buick.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer,
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
and with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
McDonald's Sundays and snack-sized shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3:32. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having an awesome day as we continue on. Busy show as now we're going to get to our NFL report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring. If you're looking for a great job where you get a hiring bonus, you get matching RSPs, tuition reimbursement, and great wage at a great company who loves sports. Go to legacyheating.ca. And today we will stop in at one of the, right now, probably one of the more popular, more ravenous fan bases in the National Football League. Of course, Bills Mafia, and Josh Reed joins us from CBS in Buffalo. The Bills, Josh, obviously, you know, they're in a win now mode, no question. They're a very good team. If I had to ask you, the biggest offseason move the Bills made was?
Oh, that is a good question. Josh Palmer, I'm going to go with.
The Canadian.
There was yeah, exactly. There you go. Hey, know your audience, right? always know your audience. But yeah, Joshua Palmer. I feel like he's got a chance to make a big impact on the Bills' offense, and he's shown that already early in camp. You know, just 3 practices in, but he's already shown a little nice connection with Josh Allen as they kind of, you know, we talked to Joe Brady about Josh Palmer and Elijah Moore, the 2 receivers that they brought in this offseason via free agency. And, you know, Joe said it's a work in progress. Joe's trying to figure out how these guys fit into the scheme and everything. And Josh Allen talked about working with those guys even after practice and talking things through. And actually saw it after day 2. Josh stood on the field and for maybe 10 minutes, and he and Josh Palmer really were like talking things through. They weren't throwing the football at all. It was just kind of, you could tell Josh was saying, this is kind of the way I want you to break on a route, and this is what I'd like you to do on this, and this is where I'm going to put the ball in this situation. So yeah, I'm going to say Josh Palmer. I think he's got a chance to come in and do some big things.
You know, you look at the Bills and they're very good. No one can debate that. You know, it's funny here in Edmonton, the Oilers have been great. They've lost 2 finals to Florida, team they can't beat. And for the Bills, you know, that's where the Chiefs are. I don't think you can really build your team to beat one team, but where is it at with the Bills and the Chiefs? You know, is there a mental thing there at all? Josh, what is it you think the Bills have to do? Or is it just simply as get home field advantage, although that's not going to guarantee it either?
Yeah, home field advantage definitely doesn't guarantee it, but it sure does help. I mean, let's face it, the Bills are one of the best teams at home in all of the NFL. To me, eventually it becomes a mental hurdle. I mean, as much as you want to just wash away every year and just kind of you start fresh and, we'll hear all of the sayings, oh, it's a reset button and every year's different. Well, I mean, eventually you get in late in the game in a close game against that team, Kansas City, and you start to wonder, okay, is it going to bounce our way this time? So I do believe that plays a factor. Look, I mean, Andy Reid has done it for a long time against a lot of teams, not just the Bills. Patrick Mahomes, same thing. Done it for a long time against a lot of different teams. It just so happened the last couple have been against the Bills. And I always kind of go back to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning had to knock on that door against Tom Brady for a long time. And then he finally broke through. And then he got one. I don't think that's too dissimilar to Josh Allen and Sean McDermott and what they're kind of trying to do against Patrick Mahomes, who is going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. And Andy Reid is one of the best head coaches of all time. And look, every team in the NFL, whether it's the Bills or the Chiefs or anyone, injuries really dictate so much in this league. All it takes is one huge injury, and you go from contender to a team that's drafting in the top 10.
Yeah, well, no, it's very true. And I love that comparison. You're right. Like Peyton Manning was a hell of a quarterback that had lots of great success, but man, Brady, and it wasn't just Brady. It was the Patriots defense, obviously, but Tom Brady played a pretty big role in it. And you had to almost be perfect if you wanted to win. And that's where they're at. And, it's funny. We talk about the defense of the Patriots. I look at the Bills and their draft class, their first 5 picks were all defensive players. Maxwell Harrison likely going to start in the secondary. And you got Sanders and Jackson and Walker, all at the defensive line position. Any of those 3, are they all coming in like second guys that are just going to rotate in, or do you see any of them maybe pushing for a starter's job?
Yeah, I mean, along the defensive line, Sean McDermott, since he took over, has rotated a ton of D linemen, and that'll be the case again. One of the things you have with these rookies is they're going to be pressed into action, and they need them to perform early on in the season, in particular because Larry Ogunjobi and Michael Hoyt, 2 of the defensive linemen that they brought in free agency, they're suspended for the first 6 games for PED violations.
Mm-hmm.
So those guys are going to be out. So they're going to need these rookies to come in and make an impact, in particular in the first 6 games of the season. And I'm telling you what, through camp so far, just 3 days, they've shown that they can. I really do. I am a firm believer in the guys that they drafted along that defensive line. When you see these guys on Sunday on your TVs, you are going to be wowed because Brandon Beane drafted absolute monsters. I mean, these guys don't look real. They look like something you'd see on a video game. They're like create your own player. Deion Walker is 6'8". We've all seen Greg Rousseau, right?
Mm-hmm.
Greg Rousseau is enormous. Deion Walker stands next to him. It's like 2 inches taller. It's incredible, the amount of size. And, of course, and then you go to the defensive back, cornerback Maxwell Harrison. He was their first-round draft pick.
Yep.
He's in a competition right now with Tre'Davious White for that starting cornerback job on the opposite side of Christian Benford. So far, it's been Tre'Davious, the veteran, who's back in Buffalo after 1 year away. He's gotten most of the reps with the first team, the majority of them. Max Harrison's been sprinkled in a little bit here and there. He's had a couple of plays where you went, holy moly, look at that speed. That is exactly why they drafted him in the first round. And then there's a couple of plays where you go, yep, that's a rookie.
Okay.
That's a guy who's going to need a little more seasoning. He's going to need to figure some things out as we go along here. But it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out because they have a lot of trust in Trey because he's been there and done that with this organization. At the same time, the Bills need some of these first-round draft picks to start panning out. And the optics aren't great if Max Harrison starts the season behind Tre'Davious White after, you look at Dalton Kincaid and his struggles a little bit here, and Greg Rousseau's been good, but has he been first-round draft pick good? Guess maybe at times. So it's going to be interesting.
Looking at more about the Buffalo Bills, Josh Reed joins us from Buffalo. Josh, NFL teams, you're down to 3 preseason games, I think, except for 2 teams.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, fair point. So they have like 2 weeks from their final preseason game. The fact that there's only 3, like, is Josh Allen even gonna, like, is he gonna play 2 snaps? Like, do you think they'll eventually just get rid of down to 2 preseason games?
Yeah, I think that's the goal. I think the NFL wants to do everything in its power to go down to, or go up to 18 regular season games. Right now they're at 18 weeks because you have the bye. And who knows what that looks like? Does that mean there's 2 bye weeks? It's kind of been the popular belief that that's the way it would maybe shake out if that's what they do. The preseason games, they would go down to 2, because let's face it, the NFL Players Association is never going to let them add a regular season game and keep the 3 preseason games. That's never going to happen. And look, the preseason games are, I don't know. It's just become a glorified practice anymore. And maybe not even that. You see more at these training camp practices than you do. You walk away with more information and you learn more about the team in training camp practices than you do in any preseason game. The preseason game, like you said, Josh Allen's going to take 2 snaps. He's going to wear his ball cap. He's going to walk off, give a high five to Mitchell Trubisky, and go put his ball cap on. And then, maybe he takes 2 snaps. My guess is, out of the 3 games, maybe he plays in 1 of the 3, and maybe it's a series, maybe it's 2 series. And Josh was actually asked about that day 1 of training camp, about his workload and what he thinks he needs at this point in his career in the preseason games. And he was like, yeah, we're not sure yet. At the end of the day, it's coach's decision. If he thinks that I need to play in all 3 just a little bit, or maybe just 1 and it's a couple series. But he basically said, we'll get to that point when we're there, and then we'll kind of make the decision based off of what we've done so far at training camp and everything like that. But yeah, the preseason games are, Josh Allen's not going to play. The main starters, the main groupings, they're going to see very limited time, because at the end of the day, it's all about the regular season. You cannot afford an injury to a key player in a game that's meaningless.
And lastly, the division last year wasn't really close, right? The Bills 13-4, the Dolphins were 8-9, the Jets were 5-12, the Patriots were 4-13. So, do you think it'll be closer this year? Are the Dolphins the obvious second best team in the division, or is there anybody that could surprise and make this a race in your eyes?
No to all 3 of those questions. No, it's not going to be much closer. No, the Dolphins aren't the second best team. I honestly believe the Patriots are going to end up second in the division. I think what we're watching, I think Mike Vrabel's a good head coach. I think, he's got a certain style of head coaching that maybe after a little bit of time, it gets sour when it's sitting in the cupboard so long. But I think he's the perfect guy for that Patriots job. He's a Patriots guy. I think Drake May is going to be a really good quarterback in the NFL. I think they still lack some of the important pieces on their roster. I think the Dolphins are going in the opposite direction. I would not be shocked at all if Mike McDaniel's fired in the middle of the season. I just think they're just a dumpster fire waiting to happen. And I think the Jets are kind of the Jets. Aaron Glenn, I think, is a good hire. They're just a long ways away. So I don't think there's going to be much of a challenger either. To answer the third question, I don't think there's going to be much of a challenge to the Bills in that division. I think they end up winning the division by 3 games pretty comfortably.
Great stuff, Josh. We appreciate it, man. Enjoy the weekend and enjoy training camp, and then the shortened preseason of only 3 games.
Yes, thank you. Have a good weekend.
There you go. That's Josh Reed. And so the Bills play on what, the 9th, the 17th, and the 23rd of August, and then they kick off the regular season against the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday, September 7th. That'll be the first Sunday game of the regular season, as of course the season begins on the 4th of September. Take a quick break. We're going to go live. The track next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Mr. Rooter rides in a hot air balloon.
Oh, wow. You can really see it all from up here. The river crossing the city like a water line, the Walterdale like PVC pipes, and the cars circling the Anthony Henday like waste swirling a toilet bowl. Which reminds me, which way to the bathroom?
There's no toilet in a hot air balloon.
Well, I will have to remedy that.
For a plumber who soars above the others, trust Mr. Rooter.
Are you an elite athlete or weekend warrior and you just want to enjoy playing the sport you love with less or even no pain? Have you tried every exercise and stretch imaginable, hoping the next one might do the trick? Well, you tried analog. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe healing can move along better and sometimes even faster with evidence-based technology techniques and the people who know how and when to apply it. StimPod, zero-gravity treadmills, radial shockwave, and so much more at your fingertips when you click to find us at leadingedgephysio.com.
McDonald's Sundays and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats, like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
It's the Bricks Price Meltdown. Score hot summer savings like up to 40% off mattresses and a 10% instant credit towards sleep accessories. Save up to $900 off sofas and sectionals, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages. Plus, buy more, save more on select major kitchen appliances. Up to $500 off. Even more, find hot prices on Canadian-made pieces and get up to 15% off patio furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The Discover Days sales event has been extended at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $7,500. Final month extended. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $4,000. Save up to $7,500 on a 2025 demo XC40. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
For Arcelli hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's annual classic and collector timed auction is this Saturday at 10 a.m. Featuring vehicles from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, including sedans, coupes, muscle cars, restoration projects, and custom cars and trucks. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Feeding a crowd, get the triple play, 3 large specialty or 5 topping pizzas for only $54 when you use promo code 3play at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
349. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. As we get to the Racing Report, brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com. As Colin Livingston joins us trackside today. CL, how you doing?
Not just trackside, my man. I am right on the track coming up to turn 15 here at Calabogie Motorsport Park.
Test day today. How's it going?
Test is over. Really, really interesting track. I mean, it's gorgeous here. Infrastructure's unbelievable. But the track itself, man, there is no grip. Like, it's very, very worn asphalt. So the cars are really just driving on the surface of the aggregate. The whole top layer of the track is on. Made it really, really interesting. I mean, I only talked to a couple of the drivers, and they're all describing it like driving in the rain, which is a really, really tough thing to do. But it's definitely going to make things interesting once we get to, our formal practice sessions tomorrow and qualifying.
All right. Now, you mentioned the track is interesting. So how much change you have? So you do your test run today. Like, how many hours are you spending tonight then changing things on the vehicle?
Well, everything's loaded. There are only a handful of teams that are still working away. There's not a lot that you can do because you can't create grip where there is none. So
okay.
What we're trying to focus on is getting the car to be as stable as possible. There are a couple of guys, our old friend Marc-Antoine Cameron, that's been heavily penalized the last 2 weeks, just rode past on his bike. Watching him out on track, he was really pushing. He was, sliding the car. He was jumping curbs. Very, very aggressive with his driving, which I think is going to really work against him. He might do well. Sorry, we actually have a little track blower coming right past us here. He was nice enough to throttle back. But, yeah, Cameron was really driving aggressively during his stints, that he was sliding, which is going to hurt his tires. From lap one, it'll kill the grip in his tires. Our car didn't look quick, but it was very stable. So I think we're already ahead of the curve. That we did, I think our longest run was about 6 laps, and it didn't, our lap times didn't vary by more than about 2/10. So Alex is still hoping to find some grip, but our team is saying, look, we're way ahead of everybody else here. Let's not try and reinvent the wheel.
Okay. Looking at F1, the pre-summer break is over. They're going to be at Spa and then Hungary. Now Christian Horner's out for the first time in 20 years. How much of an impact do you think that's going to have for Red Bull?
Well, I mean, they've already run a practice session and the sprint qualifying. I haven't seen anything, so I have no idea. I don't think his absence is going to really be felt immediately, because what's built up in the team is still going to be there. They're still going to be operating the same way. I don't think, a guy at that level has that kind of immediate impact, but long term, it's definitely going to, it's going to show. This guy is unbelievable. He throttled down as he drove past us and then circled around, and he's been right beside me. Hopefully it's not too loud. Sorry about that, Gregor.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good. I can hear you. So,
okay.
Yeah. So you think it'll be more of a long-term gap? Like for the next few weeks, you probably won't notice much of a difference. Maybe they'll be a little bit more cohesive as a group though.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, we've seen, Zach Brown missed, 2 races ago. Toto Wolff misses races, for various reasons. The team doesn't have that immediate impact on, the team principal. But, without some of the chaos and without some of the, the back door and the infighting that's been widely reported between, Horner and the Verstappen camp, maybe it'll be a little bit more cohesive and, a little bit more pleasant working environment.
What about Ferrari's new rear suspension? Can it make that much of a difference, do you think?
I think it will, just maybe not immediately. Like, it's going to take them some time to figure it out. It sounds like one of the big benefits to the new system is that they don't have to run the car as low all the time to try and get the maximum grip out of the car. So they should be able to get a little bit higher to make the car a little bit more predictable. You know, like, I think they're really getting into a situation where they're, you know, in our world, we would use something called a bump stop, so that if your front end is traveling too far under braking, you can actually mechanically limit the amount of travel. It sounds like they're doing a similar thing with their rear end. So Lewis has, you know, really talked about how difficult that car's been to drive. It might not actually net more speed, but it should be more consistent and more easier on the tires.
Okay. Colin Livingston joins. So I want to go back to, Calabogie, where you're at. And you talked about how, you know, it might punish tires. So you're going to, because the abrasiveness of the track. Now, these were both optional practice sessions. So when does every team maximize it, or, you know, or some out there for 20 minutes, some out there for 40? How does it work when it's optional practice? Like, I know how that works in the NHL. I'm curious how it works in NASCAR.
So we had 2 half-hour sessions today. Out of our group, out of the total hour, I think we were probably on track less than 40 minutes. There were, you know, guys like the 47, 27, 96. They ran the majority of both sessions. They weren't doing a lot of big changes on their car. We had a couple of radio issues and a couple of things the guys wanted to try. But when we got to the end of that second session, the team was really satisfied. We didn't have a lot of the spare parts that we wanted to try either. So we just opted to end, I don't know, it was about 10, 12 minutes early in that second session. Nobody ran transponders. We didn't have timing and scoring. You were just able to come out and run.
Okay.
Then tomorrow, they're official sessions. So you have to have transponders. You have to have spotters. There were some guys that were driving around blind. So yeah, tomorrow is when it all starts to count. They've added a practice session. Normally we only have one hour session, go straight into qualifying. Tomorrow we get the 2 plus qualifying. So, you know, even drivers that didn't make it out today will be, you know, they'll have lots of time to learn the track tomorrow. And then I don't know if I'm hoping for rain or if we need to make sure that rain goes away. If we can get some rain, we should be able to save tires a whole lot better, just as stable as the car has been. Yeah, it's early days in this thing, and you know, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, because tomorrow's another day already, but we're starting on the right foot for a change.
You mentioned do guys usually drive around blind? Is that normal?
No, absolutely not. Like we always have to have spotters. But where we're supposed to be working from, you know, there were probably, I want to say there was at least 15, 18 cars on track. There were only 6 spotters where I was standing. So at the very least, you know, most of the crew guys were doing their best to give some data back to the driver. But it also showed, like, in front of us, we're in this, the bottom of a fairly big hill. You know, what we're calling the keyhole. And there was a couple of incidents where drivers were making fairly obvious overtakes, but the driver in front didn't know that there was a car trying to pass, and there was some pretty significant contact, which is really, really less than ideal, especially in a test session. Like, again, there's no points, there's no data. We're just out here trying to run and learn what's going on. So for guys to be making contact, not good, but that's the downside to flying blind.
So does that contact, do you believe that'll carry over to the race? Are we going to have another contact filled race?
I don't think so. Like, for the most part, these guys are professionals. They know that if somebody's running without a spotter today, they'll definitely have them tomorrow. They'll probably go talk to the guy and just ask what that was all about. But of course, if it's between the 74 and the 96, their dials are already cranked to about 11 the best of times. And if they're making contact with each other, I'll be very fortunate to know that I'm, 35 feet up on a hill separated by a fence, and I'll be out of the splash zone.
All right. Well, enjoy it, Colin. We appreciate it. Thanks for the rundown, and good luck racing this weekend.
Yeah, thanks, man. Enjoy the Positive Friday.
There you go. That's Colin Livingston with the Racing Report live at Calabogie for the NASCAR Canada Series Tour. We'll return Wanye Gretz will join us also coming up in the final 2 hours of the show. We got we'll talk lots of Elks and Riders with Vanstone and Spec and Mitchell, more on your favorite wrestlers. We got Cam Tate, the 2-minute warning, and more as we get to the Con Man and the Sports 1440 update, brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. This summer, you can get training that improves your game at Hockeyology. Whether it's off the ice, on the ice, thinking the game, they got skills, they got hockey IQ sessions, and more. It's unbelievable to improve your game in hockey, and $300 for the month, and that gets you up to 18 sessions. It's a great deal. Sign up today at 01.ca, ZERONE.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Week 8 in the CFL continues tonight with the Elks taking on the Roughriders. Cody Fajardo making his first start for the Elks kickoff set for 7 p.m. Riverhawks kicking off a new series, taking on Kelowna. First pitch, 7:35. And in the CEBL, the Stingers continue their road trip in Winnipeg up against the Sea Bears. That one gets going at 6:30. Major League Baseball, Jays looking to make it 2 straight against the Tigers in Detroit. First pitch, 5:10. One game right now. Marlins lead the Brewers tied 1 apiece in the top of the 7th. Later tonight, Orioles host the Rockies. Phillies up against the Yankees. Cubs and White Sox meeting in Chicago. Astros, Athletics. Nationals taking on the Twins. Angels host the Mariners, and the Mets taking on the San Francisco Giants. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, here Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Look at the Riders with Rob Vanstone and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Center. TNA Wrestling makes its explosive debut at the Expo Center on Friday, September 26th and Saturday, September 27th for back-to-back nights. Buy your tickets online today. Learn more about what's happening at the Expo Center by visiting the calendar of events online at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Hey everybody, it's Gene Principe, the Prince of Puns, and I've got something that definitely will float your boat. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from LA and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one haul of a trip. Prices start at just $23.99, and part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
3:30.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Call and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. Cast Tours, 1-833-347-7678. Landscaping this summer? Call Bashaw Concrete Products. That's right, more than concrete. Their landscaping division has everything you're after. A huge selection of P-rock, washed rock, and sand, gray limestone, red shale, mulch, compost, landscape fabric, and topsoil. Plus, the full line of Barkman products, including pavers, retaining wall blocks, fire pits, and precast planters. Landscape products made for your outdoor living space. Residential or commercial, start here. BashawConcrete.com and follow them on Facebook.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's annual Classic and Collector timed auction is this Saturday at 10 a.m. Featuring 1968 Chev Camaro SS, 1980 Chev C10 Short Box, plus many more classic, collector, and vintage vehicles to choose from. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
After 4 o'clock, Positive Friday. It's the Gregor Show, as always presented by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, your one-stop shop. Instance, lottery, casino, sports, live dealer. They got it all, including $34 million for Lotto Max tonight. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Hope you're having a lovely Friday. You've got the Stingers. They're on the road in Winnipeg. You got the Elks on the road. They're taking on the Roughriders without Trey Ford. Well, at least to start the game. Anyway, Trey Ford is not going to start tonight. It'll be Cody Fajardo. I wonder, do we see a Trey Ford appearance tonight? We'll see. Also, the Riverhawks are on the road. They're in Kelowna. So lots of road action for you to watch on TV or streaming it online if you prefer. As we welcome in Wanya Gretz from Oilers Nation. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Did you have a favorite wrestler?
Well, I was never into it quite as much as the other kids. My parents thought wrestling was stupid and I wasn't allowed to watch it, if I'm being totally honest, on the radio.
Okay.
And it was only on Saturday afternoons.
Yes.
So I would say later in life, I thought The Rock was pretty cool, but by that point, I was already an adult.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's okay. There's lots of adults who love wrestling. But so did you ever go to a wrestling event?
Never.
Oh,
no.
So will your son be able to watch wrestling?
Totally. We watch John Cena highlights and he thinks John Cena, I don't know what magical power John Cena has over little kids, but like the instant Wanye Jr. saw John Cena, he was like, who is that? And what is that? And there's a highlight you can watch on YouTube of him driving at WrestleMania in Detroit. He's in like a Mustang. He drives through a plate glass window and he gets out and everybody cheers. And like 4-year-old Wanye Jr.'s brain rewired. I could see it when he watched that highlight. He was like, whoa, something's happening. So I think he'd probably, now John Cena is no longer active.
No, I think he comes back, I think, right, Cons? Like periodically? Or is he completely done?
No, I mean, I'm not into it like some of the others, but he does pop back. He turned heel at one of the big pay-per-views. Yeah, he had that look in his eye. I don't know who he was hugging, but he was hugging someone and they swayed him.
Who is hot now? Like, who's the new John Cena? Who should Wanye Jr. get a towel and a headband?
Roman Reigns.
Former Elk?
Yeah. Well, I looked up his side. I didn't really play, but yes.
Oh,
yes.
He's the new guy?
He's one of the big guys. Yes.
Roman Reigns. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm sure some people who are watching the active ones now, there's going to be some other ones that you watch. So you got to get into it. Like, it's like anything in life. Like, there's certain things that you love at a level that you might enjoy it later, but you're not as passionate into it.
Yes.
Right. Even as a sports fan, someone say, yeah, I still like the Oilers, but you're not. Like, there's a certain time in your life at different phases where you are into it. Now, some people, it doesn't sway. Like, they are hardcore all the time.
I would consider myself in that group. Would you consider yourself in that group?
As a sports fan? No, I'm probably less of my job has made, like, I'm not emotionally connected to it.
To any teams?
No. Well, the Dolphins screwed me over, so no, I don't have.
Screwed you over.
Like you know what? I wish their owner would just sell the team, because then I could cheer for them again. So I don't really. They're like, I'll be honest, like, I like watching the Jays. Like, my son really likes it, so that's fun. So enjoy that. Like, obviously he's a big fan of the Chiefs, so when they're on, we'll watch it. But it's not the same, like, live and die with it. Like, I know people still who, when the Oilers lose, like, they got to go for a walk.
Yes.
Like, they are. So no, I don't have that with any team.
I love the Oilers a lot. Oilers Nation started in 2007. I would consider my top 3 years as an Oilers fan this year, last year, and 06. I'm more dialed in.
So when they go to the Cup.
But I'm saying, like, I'm more dialed in now
because
than
you've
I've
gone
been
to
at
2-2
any
Cup.
point
Yeah.
because it's that exciting to me.
Yeah. Hey, guys, Cena's on his retirement tour until next WrestleMania from Cat Dad. So there you go.
I can't get a 4-year-old excited in the guy who's 1 match away from retiring. I got to get a new guy.
Now, this is an interesting one. Hey, guys, Cena's on his farewell tour, and he turned heel so he can take the WWE Championship belt home and not allow anyone else to win it.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Could be.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be too fun. So
most Make-A-Wishes ever, John Cena. Do you know that?
yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, like I've seen a few of those little vignettes when he meets people and stuff, and he seems like pretty Now, again, it's the camera's on, so I get. But I don't know, some of the stuff he just comes across pretty genuine.
If you faked that many Make-A-Wishes, you're a pretty good faker.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
Well, I'd say you're genuine on some level to go and do all that work.
It's true. Now, I've been saving all these texts because, man, there's lots of great wrestling memories that people have been sending in on the text line and our email inbox, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, I'm in grade 6, and I find out my dad was a high school teacher to both Hart brothers in Calgary. And that same day, I found out my best friend's mom was another one of his students and that she was dating the British Bulldog. Our 11-year-old minds were completely blown. It was also the time I realized my dad was crazy old. From David. Oh, so your buddy's mom was used to date the British Bulldog, and then you become a young wrestling fan, and then you're watching the British Bulldog. Too funny.
How was the British Bulldog in one place long enough to have a conventional
Well,
relationship?
they were from Edmonton. From Calgary. Yeah, well, they when
the
you
British Bulldog?
Yeah,
wasn't from England?
Stampede Wrestling. Well, he came, but he moved, was there for many years training. Like Stampede's wrestling, they had they had a training center. Stu Hart. Oh, you didn't know this?
Well, I don't know. I'm not born in 1963. What year was all this happening?
This is I think his school started, I want to say late 70s. Someone out there can, and maybe even earlier than that. But Stampede Wrestling, I remember watching Stampede Wrestling as a kid, and I knew that a lot of it was based out of the Hart family under Stu Hart, right? All of his kids wrestled, right? There's Bruce Hart, there's then there was Bret Hart, and obviously Owen Hart, and who am I? Keith Hart, right? So there's the 4 boys for sure, and then you had there was Davey Boy Smith and the British Bulldog, and they'd come over, right? But they trained here, so they're in Stampede Wrestling, and you're living in Calgary the whole time.
So it was a wrestling school that also had a TV show?
Well, Stampede Wrestling, well, they were live shows, but then it was on TV on Saturdays. So you would have a show, yes.
So they would always just wrestle each other all the time?
No. Well, not this. No. There was lots of guys. There was heels. There's a Cuban Assassin. There was Mucka Singh. Or Gama Singh.
So they had their own
Duke Myers,
WWE.
Basically you had your own WWE, Stampede Wrestling.
And they filmed it.
Yeah, it was on TV on Saturdays, and then they would come to Edmonton Guard. I was 10 years old the first time I saw it, dude, and it was just oh my God! You're it's the first time I'd ever seen a woman spit in my life. What? And she spat on one of the wrestlers going to the crowd. I'm just what kind of world am I living in right now? And that's when women say, we don't spit. I'm like, you lie. I saw with my own eyes.
Remember the Bushwhackers?
Oh yeah.
A kid that went to my school was hanging over the railing when they were coming out, and one of them licked him, and he puked on him. How's that for a wrestling story?
Kid puked on him?
Yep.
Because he licked him?
Yep.
How could he just instant puke?
He just puked. He was so grossed out he puked, or he was so nervous or excited or whatever.
Nervous or excited.
But he grabbed him and licked him.
So he just had an excitement puke.
Yep. And for the remainder of knowing that kid, we were like, you puked when a bushwhacker licked you on the arm. Years we talked about it.
What's his name? Jeez, how can you not remember Puke Boy?
I remember. He was a twin. I'm trying to remember which one it
Yeah,
was.
there's 2 twins. So just say what is
Daniel.
Daniel?
Yeah.
What was his twin brother's name?
Adrian?
Daniel and Adrian.
Yeah, one of them puked when the bushwhacker licked him in about 1926.
Just so you guys know, so Stu was training wrestlers in the dungeon. That's what it was called.
Yeah, the dungeon. Yeah. What
he bought it in 1951, and he did it until the late 90s. And the list of wrestlers,
dude, yeah,
crazy impressive.
Yeah, give him the list.
Well, we'll take time. Some names that will stand out: Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Brian Pillman, Roddy Piper, of course, Jim Neidhart, Jake the Snake, the
Bret.
Honky Tonk Man,
Bret Hart, of course.
Gamma Singh, yeah, all the Hearts, of course, Dynamite Kid.
Oh yeah, dude. Like a lot of these
Lance
guys
Storm.
they came through Stampede Wrestling. And then, they went on, some of them eventually went on to WWE.
What's the
WWF at the time?
Jesse Ventura, Christian, Ken Shamrock, some other ones there.
What's the business model? I don't understand. Like, it's a show, so we'll train our own wrestlers to go on the TV show. That was how it worked.
No, it was like
Or
the
did they
show.
pay to be taught?
Do you watch? No, you would go there. It was a training facility to become a better wrestler. Just like, you know what? Adam Oates is a skills coach for hockey players in the summer.
So they pay Adam Oates, though.
Yeah, they pay Adam Oates, but back then you would learn to be a wrestler, and then you got to go on the show.
Okay.
Like I think,
was it conditioned of being in the school? You had to go on the show.
well, if you're good enough, you had to not. Hey, Wanye Gretzky just get to show up and be like, "Hey, I'm
Hey.
here to wrestle," and then get on the show.
It's just a show that had its own training academy.
Well, no. The training academy first, right? The show came in the 80s. The training academy is around for years.
Okay.
But they used to do a traveling show. Like they would do live wrestling shows you would go to in all the arenas. I can't believe you don't know this. Like,
Well, I've heard of it, but I didn't know the ins and outs of what it was. Like,
Your-
I was aware of
your
it.
parents really,
Well,
doctor, they had to, wrestling is bad. So Wanye's like, I can't read up on anything wrestling.
In those days, though, it was very simple to control what a kid could do. You just like watched the television to see what they were watching, right?
It's true. It is a little bit harder to.
And like, I didn't have my own TV. I certainly
No,
not a
God,
computer
no,
or anything like that.
No, yeah,
So my parents just be like, "You can't watch that channel," and that was the end of it. There was no back chat.
It's true. It was a little bit easier. That is very true. A little bit easier. So
It ran from 1957 to 1989. And but they actually started doing like the circuit in 1948.
Stampede Wrestling.
Yeah, the first run. So Stu Hart and Al Oming from Edmonton.
Yes.
Born and raised. Yeah. But they started the first, I guess it wouldn't be televised, but they'd do the fights in the late 40s.
What was the UFC show on Spike that launched UFC into the stratosphere? Remember that show they had? It was like the fighters went to the training academy.
Yeah, but that came after UFC, I thought.
But
Like UFC was up, and then they.
But that's what launched it into the.
Yeah, and then you would win, and then you got a contract in UFC.
But they
Right.
got that contract with Spike, and that's what made their ratings go bananas. But anyways, that's a very similar premise. It sounds like to Stampede Wrestling, of like they were training their own fighters. People don't just show up ready to go in the UFC or in the WWE.
Oh no, you have to learn. Like there's lots of skill. Even though there's some, you kind of maybe know who's going to win on a certain time.
It's still a very skilled.
Oh, dude. Like I still remember watching, even on TV, and Connor and I were talking about this earlier, the time when Nick Foley, and like he flew so far that his tooth went like through his nose, like from the impact of hitting on that's when he went off the top of the cage. That's still the one move where I'm like, oh my God, I thought how did he do that? So he should have been a stuntman. Like a lot of those guys could easily be stuntmen in movies.
But a stuntman isn't going to get like the live roar of the crowd. right?
Totally true. Yes.
If you're going to be a stuntman, you're going to be risking your life to be edited down to 8 seconds of a fight.
Yeah. Or even just be like the butt double in a movie, right?
That's my dream.
Mm-hmm, sure. Why not? Like who wouldn't want to be that? What'd you do in your part-time? Butt double. Right. It's like George Costanza when he wanted to be the hand model. And then he was wearing the oven mitts. Hey, buddy, you got to protect the moneymaker. I like it. Hey, let's get to the 2-minute warning now with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Of course, Cam Tate, a longtime journalist in town. Cam was born with cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair. And Cam's always wanted to be on radio, but never could until now. Through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning. And on Friday, Tater asks me to be his voice. So here we go. Gregor, you did it again, man. You made me think. Reset. Bid farewell to the 138 words of this broadcast and experience because of what you said right off the top of your show. See, I was going to make the Trey Ford story, and I wonder if we're going down the same damn road we did last year, not starting Ford. And when he's running, man, there isn't any more excitement in Elks football. None, Gregor. Didn't your son even say he liked it when Ford ran? Yes or no? Yes, he did. Big fan. Okay, enough already. Don't go eating into my airtime. You got 4 hours. Me, 2 minutes. So you made me realize I wasn't only burying the lead wasn't even buried. And I was reminded yet again what wins football games. Defense, right? You can score as many points as you want, but if your defense doesn't do their part, if they don't hold the other team accountable, dare I say you're kicking yourself in the foot. Maybe that's why they call it football. Okay, sorry. Okay. You give up 30 points a game like these jokers have, and the win column doesn't populate. Forget it. So maybe we name the game here as getting the defense shape is the story. What does that even mean, Tater? Hell, even 10 points a game, 1/3. Then the Elks give themselves a puncher's chance to win. As you said, Gregor, Elks management went out and signed a lot of players on defense. So let's start watching the defense tonight. Lowtide said in his show he could be mowing the lawn by halftime should the Elks be down a lot. So if the Elks have surrendered more than 15 points at half, I'm taking my grandsons, Nick, Christopher, and Matthew down the street for ice cream. And Gregor, since you started the whole thing, you're invited too. 2-minute warning, Camp Date, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sports, 1440. He is true. Defense, obviously Cody Fajardo, he can do better. The Elks, even when their quarterback had a perfect QB rating, they still need to score 38 points to win because they gave up 33. When you're averaging 32 points against, you can't just want to say, well, let's change the quarterback. Now, who knows? Maybe that gets people's attention. We'll find out. But the defense, that's what you watch for. And now you've got injuries in the secondary. Safety's out. Bynum's out. You know Saskatchewan's going to be throwing the ball deep. Are the Elks going to play soft coverage, or are they actually going to attack? And can the defensive line get pressure? That, to me, is a story. Cody Fajardo is definitely a story to watch. But to me, the story of the game is the defense who has yet to have a good game. Can they have one? We'll find out. When we return, we'll go to Saskatchewan. The Riders are rolling. We'll touch on that and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Some jobs are easy, and some jobs are not. When the going gets tough and the job is tough, GS Construction hires good people to get the job done right. So, if you know it takes teamwork, grit, and the utmost care to work underground, you just might be who we're looking for. Right now, GS Construction is hiring experienced foremen to join our crew. Apply today at gsconstruction.ca. And remember, from the first manhole to the final tie-in, we've got your back. GS Construction. Tough jobs, good people.
Back by popular demand, the Operation 36 Junior Golf Program at Cattail Crossing Golf Club. Designed for kids ages 5 through 17, it combines instruction and on-course play, focusing on technique, strategy, and course management. Taught by certified CPGA pros. Only $325 for 4 weeks of instruction, plus 4 9-hole rounds of golf. Operation 36, Wednesdays 5:30 till 7:30 p.m. through August. Register at cattailcrossing.ca. Click on Junior Program or call 780-973 6686.
McDonald's sundaes and snack size shapes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Want some good news? St. Albert Dodge is holding the biggest sale of the year on their in-stock Ram 1500 Sports. Every single one on the lot is discounted by a whopping $14,000. Yeah, 14 grand. And St. Albert Dodge has the best selection in Alberta. Over 90 Ram 1500 Sports to choose from, with great packages, including the Night Edition and GT models, all $14,000 off the ticket price. Get down there and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta, DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
For all things golf carts, it's the Golf Cart People. Their certified techs provide expert service from maintenance to custom upgrades. Customers can explore the sales floor for new and used Club Car, Yamaha, and EasyGo models. The Golf Cart People stock a wide variety of parts and accessories to keep every ride in top shape and offer convenient rentals for tournaments, weddings, and festivals. Trusted for sales, service, parts, accessories, and rentals since 1997. Visit the Golf Cart People at golfcartpeople.com, your complete golf cart solution.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Our average used RV sells for around 30 grand. Some are more, some are less. And literally no one has 30 G's just sitting in their checking account.
Monthly payments are the best way to get the used RV that's right for your family.
That's right, Bob. Financing should be a stress-free process. But let me tell you a little secret. My granddaughters think I'm a model citizen when I was young once. And if you look back into my credit history, you can see that it wasn't always excellent.
Perfect credit is nice, but not easily achievable.
You said it, Bob. But less than perfect credit is not a good reason to keep you from the great outdoors this season. I built our financing plans for the real world. And in the real world, nobody has a perfect credit score. So let's talk about how easy it is to make your favorite used RV affordable. As long as you promise not to tell Saxon and Goldie that I'm not perfect.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at Cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. It is the Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca and live watching on Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks, as always, for listening and watching the show, downloading it later. If you're one of our podcasters, thanks so much for that. We get now in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, over 50 years experience. They are one of the most diversified electrical contractors in Alberta with 4 divisions in project service, tag, and energy. Check it out at actionelectrical.net as we go out to Saskatchewan, where the Elks on the road taking on the Roughriders, as Roughriders senior journalist and historian Rob Vanstone joins us. Robbie, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you doing, Jason? Thanks for having me today.
I'm great. Cody Fajardo. Let's talk about Cody Fajardo, who I got to think there's a lot of Rider fans who were, for a while there, like, he was pretty popular dude in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and I think he still is. I think we're going to see be a lot of Fajardo jerseys in the stands, I'm sure. He was joking yesterday that some of the people wearing the Fajardo jerseys may be booing him. Typical great quote from Cody. But I mean, he had a lot of success here too. I think people tend to forget. Maybe there's a bit of recency bias, but in 2019 he was the most outstanding player in the West Division, and an All CFL quarterback, and led the team to a back-to-back West Finals. I think I would hope that the tenor of the response is a lot more appreciative, and I think it will be.
Looking at the Riders themselves, the fans, a lot of reasons to be appreciative of them. They're 5-1, currently sitting, mathematically in first place in the West Division because Calgary lost last night, so they're 5-2. You look at the Riders, they've scored a lot of points, but they've given up, a decent amount, not crazy, but 25 points a game, but they're scoring a ton of points right now. Are they giving up points late in games, Rob, or would they like to tighten things down a bit defensively?
Corey Mason said from the outset that he'd like to tighten things up. I mean, he's a defensive coordinator as well as the head coach, and I don't think anything short of no yards gained and no points on the board is ever going to satisfy a defensive coach. But they've allowed 25 points a game, but that's third best in the league. You got to remember, at times this is Canadian professional football, and there's only so much you can do defensively when receivers are waggling and there's a big pasture of a field, etc. So I think they'd like to tighten things up. I think that's been what they've been saying all year. But overall, it's been a pretty efficient defense.
Cody Fajardo, Trey Ford. The Elks offense, obviously last week was terrible, or 2 weeks ago, I guess, it was not very good. The week prior to that, Trey Ford had a QB rating of perfection, 158. So, he's had some games, but overall, what do you think, or what are the Riders? They know Fajardo. What are they expecting tonight? Because Edmonton last game they played, they actually had the right calls. They had guys open. The quarterback just didn't hit them. Are they expecting the Elks to test them deep quite often tonight?
I'm not sure the deep pass has never really been the forte of Cody Fajardo. He's been able to do it, but he's never been a bombs away, throw the ball 70 yards downfield quarterback. I think, we saw in Montreal, especially, when just the ball control type of offense that was able to run. He started here. It was more of a bombs away guy, and by the end, it was the style of the offense had changed during his time here, and I think the completion percentage is the best in CFL history. And I think that's indicative of his accuracy, but also I think it's some of the philosophies that are in effect when he is in the game. So I would expect, especially, playing against his own defense, you're just going to have to take what's there. And generally that's the underneath stuff. And he's very accurate with that. And he can also run. So in a way, I mean, much has been made of, Trey Ford versus Cody Fajardo and what kind of challenges that presents. They're both very mobile quarterbacks. You cannot fall asleep on either of them in terms of their mobility. Trey Ford is unbelievable at it, but Cody Fajardo, even at 33, it can still move around in the pocket really well and get out of the pocket if necessary. And that's something the Riders are going to have to be very aware of.
The Riders offense got to be licking their chops here. The Elks defense hasn't had a great start to this season. They don't get enough consistent pressure. Their secondary has played, I thought, way too soft at times. They've looked really good in Saskatchewan. What's been kind of like their go-to offensively that's allowed them to put up so many points?
I think the fact that nobody can really concentrate on one receiver. Everybody's taken turns. They've had 4 different players with 100-yard games, et cetera. You can't really say, okay, we've got to stop this weapon. And that really creates challenges. I remember when the Riders had Ray Algard, Don Narcisse, and Jeff Fairholm, and who are you going to double team?
Right.
And the Elks, I knew I was going to do that. The Elks, and over the years, I remember the Grey Cup winning teams, 78 to 82, and it's like, okay, you're going to stop Tommy Scott, Waddell Smith, Brian Kelly. What are you going to do, right? And if you do, well, there's Jim Germany, and Warren Moon can take off out of the pocket. And so I think just the balance of weapons really, and Trevor Harris's ability to find whoever is open or most open, and his accuracy is really driving that. And having the running game that AJ Ouellette is providing this year helps as well. That's kind of the foundation for everything, and puts the Riders, even if it's a 3 or 4 yard gain on first down, 2nd and 6 in the hands of Trevor Harris is people saw it in Edmonton. He's so accurate, and he's going to make more of those 5-6 yard throws than far more than won't be made. So it's really there's really a complementary aspect to this offense, not only among the receivers, but incorporating the running of AJ Ouellette as well.
The O-line, how good have they been at protecting their quarterback?
Well, no sacks allowed last week, even though Darius Washington at left tackle was playing his first game of professional football. And once again, the offensive line has been beset by injuries. Sean McEwen and Philippe Gagnon, even before the season started, were injured. And, Trevion Tate at left guard was hurt. It just never, they've started 3 left tackles this year who had not previously played a game of professional football. You just wonder where it's going to stop. But the common denominator is that it's still a very, very strong offensive line. Edwin Harrison, the offensive line coach, is jokingly referred to as Coach of the Year among the Riders coaching staff and players. He's just, it's amazing what he's been able to do considering the personnel challenges that they faced as a result of injuries. And you got to remember too, even with all the injuries, Jamarcus Hardrick is still there. And Logan Ferland is still there. There's some real cornerstones that are part of that offensive line.
Rob Vanstone joins us. Riders hosting the Elks tonight, Friday Night Football on TSN. How's the return? Like the Elks return game has been pretty consistent this year, and at times has been great. How's the cover team for the Riders on special teams?
It's generally been really strong. I mean, Kent Majeri, the special teams coordinator, is terrific at what he does, and the Elks return game is a challenge to stop. I think a lot of them are around the league, but so far so far so good as far as the kick coverage, and on the other side of the coin, I mean, Mario Alford with his kick returns has been tremendous, and then he injured a hip, and now Dre McCray is entering his second game as the Riders' featured kick returner. So there's some weapons both sides return wise, and that could be very fun to watch. It looks like a really nice night for football tonight too. So.
Oh, well, that was my next question. Yeah, weather, it looks from a distance, everything looks like it's going to be good, not too hot. No, because every now and then you get a pretty good storm in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and there was yesterday the weather forecasts were indicating there was about a 30% chance of a storm very conveniently during the football game, but now it looks like that is minimal. It's like 32 degrees here. It's supposed to be 27 at kickoff. Just especially after 2 Fridays ago, I'm just hoping for a nice uneventful evening, and I'm hoping for the game to be very eventful and fun.
Well, Rob, enjoy the game tonight. We appreciate it. Should be interesting to see how Cody Fajardo does. The Elks defense, can they get some stops, and can their offense maybe keep them off the field a little bit? It'll be a tough test as the Riders right now look to be the best team in the league. So definitely not an easy first start in green and gold for Cody Fajardo.
No, but it's a really intriguing storyline, and I think myself and a lot of people thought that the Elks were going to get off to a better start and be a better team at this juncture of the season. When I look at that roster, and you alluded to some components of it, I still think that's a team that nobody should ignore, because they can. I mean, look at some of the pieces on defense. Honestly, that defense should be a lot better, and I expect that it ultimately will be. And because there's some tremendous players. Ed Hervey brought in so much talent during the off season, and maybe it just requires a bit of time to all meld together.
Well, they definitely, I think it's safe to say that thus far, they haven't performed to the level they've wanted. I don't think there's any debate on that. And if they can get rolling, that would be nice. Hey, if they can get rolling with Cody Fajardo, then guess what? Maybe the Elks can get on a roll, but it'll be a tough task tonight against the Riders. We look forward to it. Thanks so much for this. Appreciate it, Robbie.
Anytime, Jason. Great to chat with you. Take care.
You betcha. That's Rob Vanstone. Long-time beat reporter for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, also now the historian for the Riders. Knows a thing or two about the CFL and the organization. Now, speaking of football, it's been a long time coming, but it's finally happened in the NFL as the Bengals and rookie Shamar Stewart have agreed to terms on a 4-year, fully guaranteed rookie contract. And this is where I'm always like, well, what were you with now? Obviously, like, it's fully guaranteed. So give him and his agent credit, right? It's just like, hey, what are you doing here? And the Bengals, like, what did you gain from this? Not a whole lot.
How big is the contract?
I haven't seen a number yet. All I know, it's fully guaranteed. So good for him. He got what he wanted. They wanted more guaranteed money. And that's kind of the way it's going in the NFL. And I can understand it.
But NFL contracts are so vague. Like, they just restructure things all the time. Like, does guaranteed really mean guaranteed?
Well, fully guaranteed does.
But because they spread it over 100 years or something?
Yeah,
weird?
4-year deal. Rookies rarely. I'm trying to think. I don't recall a rookie having a contract that gets restructured.
No?
No. Not when it's restructured. For Stewart, it's 4 years, $18.9 million, $10.4 million signing bonus.
18.9 per year or total?
Total.
Okay. So 10 mil of that signing bonus.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So, hey, not bad. Cake's basically making $4.5 million a year on average. Well, I guess you get the signing bonus, but that's what the average would be.
You think that 4-year deal is excessive, but 23 years of Trent Frederick, you think is perfectly acceptable?
I never thought 4 years was excessive at all.
For this rookie guy?
No, I'm
fully
saying,
guaranteed.
Yeah, I don't think it's excessive. Well, every NHL contract is guaranteed. And you can, but see, even in the NHL, it's guaranteed until you buy it out. Some are buyout proof, but you can still
buyout proof when you get one bonus every summer, right?
Yeah, but that's the bonus one. It's just certain ones where you could buy him out, but you just don't gain any advantage, right? Like, whereas a team, if you buy out a guy with 2 years left, and let's say he has a $7 million cap hit, but he's paid a lot of the money, and now he's only owed a certain percentage, you could buy him out, and suddenly, like Jack Campbell was a $5 million cap hit. And this year's at 2.63, then it's 2.3, then it's down to 1.5. Now, it's still not great, but the team looks and says we can save some cap space. But there are certain guys, if you bought him out, it's, he's a $6 million cap, you buy him out, he's a 5.5. Well, what's the point of doing it?
What's the advantage of a player other than getting all your money in one big shot every year?
Well, the signing bonus, it's just strictly financial. If I get, like, for instance, Leon Draisaitl, this year his salary is $16 million.
Right.
He got $15 million on July 1st. And so now you get that money, you put it into you got a good financial guy.
So that's
you're making way, like, that turns into way more money in a full calendar year. Where I know people say, yeah, but if you got it spread out over the year, well, no, just do the math. You wouldn't get your first paycheck until the middle of October, right? And then you get one at the end. So even at whatever that paycheck would be, spread out over the 12, I think it's 12 payments or 14 maybe over the course of the year, however it works. And you do that lump sum, but you're getting 15 mil on July 1st. Just do the 5%. Let's just say you're getting 5% on that. Now, I know you're not getting all 15 because it's taxes, but let's just say you're getting 7.5, right? You get $7.5 million at 5%. You're going to make way more money there than you are if you put $1 million in, then you put another million in, another million. No. So it's strictly you get the money. So you're essentially going to make more money.
It's got to be a good feeling on wire transfer day when 15 million US shows up.
I don't even know. Can you even transfer that, or you got to get a certified check? I don't know.
Well, I assume these sports leagues have special banks and the thing.
They might have something. I would think so. Anybody out there cash a $7 million check? Let us know. How do they do it? 833-401-1440. Quick break. We'll come back with 5 questions and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account.
It's a
gamble.
Scotty Scheffler right now. So, okay, that's fair.
Classic
with Adam Sandler. Like the Bob Bar, it's fun. Also, in the game, remember tonight, Lotto Max.
Smoothie experts everywhere.
Are you kidding me? It's a classic with Adam Sandler. Like the Bob Bar, it's fun on Gilmore 2 and be watching. Yeah, and also, you know what? You can get your tickets, and many of you are going to sit down tonight with Adam Sandler. That's still one of the greatest comeback lines. God, it was funny. And Shooter, he's been unreal. He was somebody who was in. What are you doing?
1999.
Joins us, Chris. Welcome to
this meltdown.
Chris,
for hot summer savings, like up to 40% off mattresses and a 10%.
He's a lyricist.
We're all looking forward to seeing Hat
save up to $900 off sofas and sectionals, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages. Plus, buy more, save more on select kitchen appliances, up to $500 off. Even more, find hot prices on Canadian-made pieces and get up to 15% off patio furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
On the rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tune.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Jeff Brav and 118th.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta, DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
If you're an experienced RV salesperson, you have to be concerned about the state of the industry right now. With so much uncertainty, companies are downsizing their sales teams, especially at new RV stores. Right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. Nobody knows what the future holds. But here at Noble RV, we're hiring. And we're looking for a very particular kind of RV salesperson. Of course, experience with used RVs is always an asset here.
This role requires a good sense of what the used RV owner needs, how to help them solve problems, and enjoy more of the great outdoors.
You got it, Bob. It's technically a sales position, but with none of the rat race you deal with now. You'd be more of a problem solver, helping RV owners with their ongoing experience. Someone with a few miles on the odometer is the ideal candidate. If you're ready for an exciting new career at Alberta's biggest used RV store, come find me, because there's a future for you here with us.
And that's Noble.
NobleRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, so it's Friday. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. Gregor, Monia Gretz, Connor Halley with you as we get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick as the block party price meltdown continues on through to the end of the month. You can save up to 40% off mattresses. You can get $900 off sofas and sectionals. And how about stop in? Maybe you're like, you know what? I need a new TV. I want to watch the Jays. 65-inch Samsung Smart TV for only $799. The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, question number 1 for you. How many consecutive games do you think Cody Fajardo will start for the Edmonton Elks?
Now, I'm new to Elks Nation, but like, who's to say that he can't catch fire? Like, it's not as though the Elks are putting up amazing.
Well, that's what his point is.
Yeah, like, I think, what if he had a bunch of consecutive games? What if he came in and had a 2 or 3 game run and won 2 of them? Like, is that unreasonable expectations put on him, Gregor?
Well, they've won 1 game all year, so I'm not going to start thinking they can win multiple in a row just yet. And they're going, like, he doesn't have the best. Like, to me, I look at Cody Fajardo. Let's say the Elks lose tonight. I would actually go back to Cody Fajardo, I guess, unless he just plays awful. But I need to see how he plays to see what happened. But I'm not a big fan of 1 on, 1 off in football. I don't think that's great. So I'm going to say he starts 3 consecutive.
During the playoffs, when Cal Pickard came in, I jokingly said on our podcast, what if he went 5-0? And my colleague Tyler Remchuk told me on the pod that I was an idiot. And then you know what happened?
He went 5-0.
He went 5-0. Come on, Cody. We believe in you, brother.
Question number 2, playalberta.ca. It's got the Elks as 9.5-point dogs heading into this game. What's your prediction for the final score?
Well, it's Positive Friday, but until I see the defense limit a team, it's going to be hard for me to think that they're going to be able to win a game on the road in Saskatchewan. So I will say the Elks lose 29. They actually keep them under 30. So 29-21.
I just thought it'd be nice, Connor, to say, what if the Elks won? What if? What if?
So then what's the score?
They could.
33, Riders 30. What if?
They cover the spread.
What if?
They would cover the spread for sure.
Why not us?
Because they'd be winning, Connor.
They'd be winning. Hey, I hope it happens.
Why
Maybe
not
down at
us?
the watch party tonight, you know? Question number 3.
Wait, where are you at the watch party?
Downtown first round. Come see us. Good giveaway.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know, is Mini-Me going to be there tonight?
Who's Mini-Me?
Mark Levers. We call him Mini-Me.
Maybe. Well, I will have to see who's down there.
Oh, yeah.
Be a packed
Well,
house.
but you can't see if he's down there unless he's on a step stool. So hopefully good luck, though. Give you some wings. Hey, Mini-Me, hope you have a good one tonight.
Question number 3. Inter Miami's Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba were suspended 1 match by MLS for skipping their All-Star game. Do you like that move for the league?
Yeah, I know. NHL did that. Remember when they suspended guys? If you didn't go to the All-Star game, you could play in the game right afterwards. Like it's an All-Star game, and I get you're trying to sell it. I understand it. But do you think Lionel Messi's like, oh, I'm going to be suspended for one game? Well, that's just too much of it. So I get to rest? Like, come on. I get you want to try to attract people. I understand that. And make it an event. But, Lionel Messi's a big star. Sure, I would try to, hey, Lionel, can we compromise somehow? Can we have you here, make an appearance, but we don't expect you to play in the game? That's what I would recommend. Or, you know what, you can start, we'll pull you off in 3 minutes. Right? Just try to do something to have them there. But the 1-game suspension does a whole lot of nothing. The NHL realized, you know what? This isn't scaring any of our players not to play.
Didn't Aaron Judge...
Or not to show up, I mean.
Didn't Aaron Judge recently refuse to take 3 swings in the All-Star game batting thing? Like it was a bat off or some new thing they tried to put in play because it was a tie or something, and he refused to even do 3 swings.
I didn't even know that. Is that true, Cons?
I don't know.
I don't know, who was eligible. Did you have to be in the game at the time? See, I wasn't following close.
That's what I thought. You had to be in the game.
And so he'd been out of the game.
Okay,
so
but
that's why I didn't think that was true.
To me, All-Star games either need to be reworked or they need to be retired. Because I think it's an honor to be an All-Star, but I don't think it's an honor to play in the All-Star game anymore. And when you have these big players show up or don't even show up, I think as a fan, do you really want to travel to Tampa Bay to watch the All-Star game if players that you're hoping?
But it's more
don't
so
play?
for the hometown crowd, right? You get it once a year and they come for that. And, like MLB, he was there at the game. He showed up, but I didn't think he was eligible to go in the swing off because he'd been pulled out of the game. But maybe I'm wrong.
No, I'm wrong.
That's what I thought.
I get all my news from the All-Star game from Twitter. You know how that goes.
Yeah, well, it's very accurate. Very accurate.
But players refusing to play in All-Star games or they don't want to play in the slam dunk competition, that's real.
Well, yeah, the slam dunk competition but it's usually for the younger guys, right? There's not a lot of older vets that have ever done the slam dunk. And you know what? You make it still exciting. And I think, but I'll say that the NBA superstars, they all show up. They're there. They just might not go in the slam dunk competition, but they're in the game. Trust me, because you know why? It's the best players. So to me, if you have an All-Star game, screw off with the participation. Oh, we need every team represented. No, you don't. You need the best players. Hence All-Star game. Not all participation game.
Question number 4 for you guys. On this day in 1990, Roseanne Barr sang the national anthem in a game between the Padres and the Reds. I'm sure you guys have seen it. It was not very good. So what is the most memorable national anthem for you, good or bad?
When Paul Lorio held the mic up to the crowd for the first time. I don't know if it was because of a failure of his mic or what it was.
No, he just did it.
But oh man, I was there that night. That was a moment.
Oh yeah, it was big. Now
I've never seen it.
I know Oilers fans don't like to hear this, but it actually happened in Vancouver first. So just like to clarify that for people.
Vancouver, BC?
Yes.
What year?
2004.
They had the mic cut out, or it was a legit moment?
The legit moment.
And it was that guy that had the beard, the anthem singer with the long hair in the back?
Yeah. See, now if we're going with the greatest anthem moments is when he Mark, I can't remember his last name right now. He was a singer, and then he went to Penticton to do it, and he was on skates, and he was skating around, and he hit the carpet while he was singing.
Oh, no.
And he wiped out, did not even miss a beat. Went down, just kept singing, got up, and the players are on the line, of course, are laughing. But I was like, now that's impressive. Now, that guy's a professional, did not miss a beat, went down, he's up, he's singing. That's one. But if we're going national anthems, it's hard to beat Whitney Houston when she sang Star Spangled Banner at Super Bowl. It was 1991. So whatever Super Bowl that was, 25, I think.
Now, when that guy went down, there must have been somebody working for the team who's like, and that's why we don't do the anthem skating, everybody.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. Well, he tried to step on the carpet thinking he would just skate over. Well, they didn't plan to have a space where he could skate through. Right. So he's like, well, geez, I'm committed to skating here. I don't want to just skate in one end of the ice. So, but as a true professional, he just kept rolling. That was unbelievable. That's the greatest vid. Now, I didn't see it live, but the Whitney Houston one is still one where he's like she could sing. That was an unreal.
Donnelly was the last name. And how about honorable mention to the girl? I think it was at a world championship
and
game.
She wiped out twice?
She forgot, walked off, then came out and slipped. Oh, man.
It's the second one for me where you're just like, I could see her soul leave her body.
She wiped out the second time, and that's when she's like, I'm out. I actually thought when she wiped out the second time, she smacked the back of her head on the bottom of the boards. Oof. because she was right through the gate opening. But yeah, that is a classic wipeout.
She lay there. I think it was Chris Draper. I think helped her up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's tough.
Man.
Yeah.
Final question for you guys today. Friends star Matt LeBlanc celebrating his birthday today. After Friends, he went into a star in the spinoff Joey, which obviously did not have as much success. I've asked you guys your favorite spinoff. What is the worst spinoff in TV history?
Listen, I'm going to talk about the best worst spinoff in TV history, which was Baywatch Nights.
Yeah.
And Mitch, the head lifeguard, became a private
David Hasselhoff.
Yes, became a private investigator at night for about a season. And then when it was clear that wasn't working, he pivoted into like X-Files type crimes to try to like keep up with X-Files. It's that second season when he's like chasing paranormal stuff. But this is the best worst spinoff TV of all time.
I'm trying to think of like a bad spinoff. Like Joey would be up there, but I only watched like one episode. So I'm trying to think of shows that I actually watched like a few of and it wasn't good. And I got to go back to, I was a huge, like, Three's Company was unbelievable. And then they had the Ropers and it was terrible. Like, now, which shouldn't surprise me because Mr. Furley was infinitely better than Mr. Roper, right? Now, Mrs. Roper, she was classic. But Mr. Roper he wasn't, even though he had like a few lines, you know, when he thought Jack was gay and he would make some funny, there's a few lines of his that were funny, but for the most part, no, his character wasn't good. Don Knotts as Mr. Furley was unbelievable. So it was probably, I should have known that when they made the switch from Furley to the Ropers, that I was like, anything involving the Ropers wasn't going to be good. But that one was pretty bad. And I know, Clark, like this one, Low Tide, when he comes on next hour, this was probably the most disappointment he's had in his life. Because remember the Golden Girls? Right?
You're not going to talk about Golden Palace.
Golden Palace, yes.
I was just going to say, I looked at the list of worst spinoffs ever. Golden Palace, they opened a hotel.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
24 episodes in 1992, 1993.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
In a spinoff series of the Golden Girls, Dorothy moves away.
Yeah.
So Sophia and Blanche and Rose open a hotel called the Golden Palace.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Good heavens.
No, wasn't good. Wasn't good.
Why was Joey so bad? Do you remember? Like, I think like a lot of people, I just watched the opener and I was like, I miss all the Friends. It's too soon. I'm out.
Yeah. I never watched Joey. I don't know. So
it's considered to be one of the worst. I think that's unfair. I think Friends was just that popular. There's one here too I never heard of, After MASH. So the Korean War has ended. Colonel Potter, Sergeant Klinger, and Father Mulcahy find themselves together again in a veterans hospital. That doesn't sound good. 30 episodes, though.
Joni Loves Chachi. That was another brutal one.
That 80s show. Did you ever watch that 70s show?
Oh, I love the 70s show with Red.
They made that 80s show. And I remember that.
Dumbass. Yeah, it was a classic. Who was in the 80s show? No, I never even heard of that.
Nobody of name.
Oh, my
But
goodness.
it was 13 episodes. I remember when it came out.
They had the 90s show, too.
Did they?
Or no, sorry. There was a newer one now, yeah. And then the 80s show had Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
See, the fact that I'm looking at this list, it only got 13 episodes. Like After MASH got 30. Joey got 46. It couldn't have been that bad. They made 46 episodes. That 80s show got 13 episodes, which I think is the initial order for a pilot.
Yeah.
Did you know Home Improvement technically is a spinoff with Dave Chappelle called Buddies? 13 episodes.
Right.
Like you said,
Buddies.
I've never heard of that. I got to check it out. Dave Chappelle's hilarious, but why not just give him his own show? Why the spinoff?
I think I've seen something about that. It was a very strange show. Like it wasn't making Dave Chappelle seem like he was Dave Chappelle.
I'm just reading this list. Shows I've never even heard of. Megan Wants a Millionaire.
Ooh.
Megan gets a show to become a trophy wife to avoid working hard to earn what she wants.
Come on now.
Come on. Like, that was a real show premise. Unbelievable. Gets show to become trophy wife to avoid working hard. Oh,
You don't think
God.
a trophy
Can't
wife
believe
is a hard job, Megan?
I can't believe that failed.
That's a
Jeez.
really hard job.
Oh my goodness. Like, but I don't even know, like, what was it a spinoff of? That's what I'm trying to understand. It doesn't say anything here, Cons. Megan Wants a Millionaire. Was like, I don't get what was a spinoff from. So.
Oh, it's a reality TV show. She's from Rock of Love.
Oh, God.
Saved by the Bell, the college years. I didn't think that was that terrible, but it only got 19 episodes.
Rock of Love was the dating show with Bret Michaels. For those curious.
Oh.
3 seasons.
Guys, Gloria was a horrible spinoff of All in the Family.
Oof.
All in the Family, man. Like, it's such a when you go back and you watch some of the old shows now, like even it's sad. I won't even say, but like The Office, people now are so overly sensitive. Like, it's funny what people will get upset about, and then things that they're just like, oh, hey, sexual abuse, rape, no big deal. But my goodness, if you say the wrong word, well, now we got a real problem. It's a sad state. But
offensive comedy has gone away completely. Like, you used to go watch a comedian to get offended. I remember this.
Yeah.
Or you'd watch a stand-up comedian on a special and you're like, that's so offensive. That's so funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That genre of comedy now is gone.
It's rare. It's very rare. Final hour, Mark Spector, Low Tide will join. Low Tide, we're probably going to ask him for the breakdown of the Golden Palace. Because he would have loved to be right in his wheelhouse. Oh, kidding me? Blanche, hello. LT, I'll guarantee that was his TV crush, was Blanche. No doubt in my mind. Let's get to the con man. And a sports 1440 update brought to you by the Red Deer Resort and Casino. You can elevate your summer. Stay, play, dine with us, and grab a discounted gondola tickets to Banff Sunshine all summer long. Highway to Heights runs until September 15th. Red Deer Resort and Casino.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Busy day for the Edmonton sports franchise, all on the road. Week 8 continuing in the CFL. Elks in Saskatchewan taking on the Riders. Cody Paterno will make his first start for the Elks at quarterback. Kickoff 7 o'clock. Riverhawks open up a new series in Kelowna, taking on the Falcons. That gets going at 7:35. And in the CEBL, Stingers taking on Winnipeg at 6:30. Major League Baseball, Jays up against the Detroit Tigers once again. First pitch in 10 minutes time from Detroit. Right now, Diamondbacks Pirates scoreless in the second. You've also got the Rockies taking on the Orioles. Yankees host the Phils. Dodgers take on the Red Sox. Cards, Padres, Cubbies, and White Sox. Royals host the Guardians. Mariners in Anaheim. And earlier today, Marlins get past the Brew Crew 5-1. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown with Low Tide. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com.
Good Friday.
On style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
When you look at a pipe, we just see a pipe. But at GS Construction, we know it's not just a pipe. It's the future water flowing to a growing family's home or the sewer line for a new school. At GS Construction, we know every trench we dig connects people to what matters. And if you'd like to be part of that vision of making a better future, we're hiring. Right now, GS Construction is looking for experienced foremen to join our team. So apply today at gsconstruction.ca. GS Construction, underground with purpose.
Tired of hearing, I'm bored? Bowl Canada has all the info you need to get them into a bowling league. It's all fun, games, and guaranteed smiles. Visit bowlcanada.ca today to sign up. We're ready to roll. Are you?
Easy airport parking? Choose Park to Go. Edmonton's top-rated provider on Google. Book self-park or valet and save up to 30% with promo code RADIO. Visit park2go.ca. That's RADIO
Photographers, start your cameras. It's time for Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest. Enter your hometown snapshot and show us what makes your community amazing. Whether it's a view from the farm, a stroll down Main Street, or a weekend at the rodeo, we're looking for snapshots that show off your rural Alberta hometown. Share your photo before September 2nd for a chance to win cash prizes or a donation to your favorite community group. Learn more via Vision's Facebook page or go to what'syourshare.ca.
On the rocks, the party never stops. Check it out. Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best live DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Jeff Brab and 118th.
Oodle noodle origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
And Instagram also. Wanya Gretzk along for the ride with us. It's interesting just because the whole. I just got the story from the scouting the refs on an order draft pick, so we'll get to that in a second. It is the Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website, where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. As we'll get to the Spec report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist, and they're hiring. If you're looking for a fantastic company that will give you a career, not just a job, go to gsconstruction.ca. As Mark Spector is going to join us momentarily. We'll get to this story, though, from Scouting the Refs. Ben Betker, of course, Oiler fans might remember him. He was a draft pick of the Oilers, never played in the NHL, spent some time in the AHL and ECHL, then went 5 years into Europe. Last year, he officiated in the BCHL, and after 1 year, he went to the NHL Combine. He's 30 years of age, and now he got signed by the NHL. He's going to start in the American League. After 1 year in the BCHL, I don't know, seems like a quick jump. But Spec, what a lot of people say, the NHL is kind of force-feeding former players, guys with not a lot of experience. This does not strengthen people who counter that argument. Right? Not an idea. Spec there with us? Spec, did you mute yourself? Maybe you did. Oh, there. How about that? Now you're good. Yeah. Click start. Now, what do you make of this, Becker? 1 year in the BCHL, and now he's into the NHL. Now he's going to start in the American League.
Wait a second. Who?
Ben Betker. He was an order draft pick, fifth rounder. Ooh, I don't know, 2013, I think, if my memory's correct. Maybe 14, one of the two. And, he's a minor league player, fine, played in Europe. He stopped playing. He refereed 1 year in the BCHL, and now he got signed by the NHL. He'll start in the American League next year, and people think he's going to come up. But, he's got 1 year of officiating. He's going to go to the AHL.
Oh, okay. So he's a referee. He's an official.
Yes.
You know what? Listen, their ranks are thin. Okay. They really struggle to get guys to become referees. Like they're really, really, I know this. They hold their camps. Like, for instance, they'll send a guy into the Golden Bears dressing room, like the National Hockey League Official Association, and they'll recruit. They'll say to the guys, hey, you know what? You guys can all play hockey. You know the game. You're probably not playing the NHL. What they want are guys like Betker who've played. And, you know, I'm not here to tell you he's a great ref. I didn't know the guy's name barely. I remember the draft pick, but that's the guy they're looking for, Jay. A guy that's played, that understands the game. They're going to put him in the A, and let's figure it out. Like, look at it this way. How many players do teams put in the AHL, and we see if they can play, and we figure it out. And now the officials are doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But 1 year, like, there's not many guys. Hey, you just started. You know, it's different because you don't just start playing hockey. Like, you've got officials in major, junior who have ref 10 years, Spec. Like, it's so much about feel. And I'm sorry, just because you play the game doesn't mean you can officiate the game. Like,
nope.
None of the best referees, when we talk about, they ever played the game. They like, now, not at the high level, right? Like, they played the game up until maybe, you know, midget back then. Right. Some maybe junior. And then they were like, hey, I want to be an official. And then they were reffing. Like it takes a feel to really become a good official. So,
yeah, listen, like, I guess I'd say to you that they're not putting a guy, like, it's not like they're putting him in because he's some guy's cousin or little brother. I hope, you know, they're not doing this as some act of favoritism. If he's in there, he's got to at least show enough promise. I'm going to say, like, I kind of,
whoa.
I
So
don't,
are you telling me that the NHL has never gifted positions to people who weren't experienced enough? Are you seriously telling me that? Look at management, buddy. There's tons of guys. There's reeks of NHL doing it. Oh, you know, so he was in the NHL community. To me, I'll talk to my referee buddies. I'm going to just talk to some coaches who are in the BCHL. This guy reffed 1 year in the BCHL. And hey, like I said, I hope it works out. But you've got guys who have officiated for 5-10 years. And this guy, like, maybe he's like some savant ref. I'm not buying. You got, especially, Spec, on a year where the NHL just had 1,000 fewer penalties than 2 years ago, the lowest power play opportunities in NHL freaking history. And now they're like, hey, we're going to bring in a guy who has 1 year experience.
Whoa. They're not bringing in anyone. They're putting them in the minors.
Yeah, but
he's reffing in the minors.
Yeah, well,
they
they
might spend 5 years down there. How do we think he's going to be in the NHL next year?
Well, they are. But if you look at the trajectory of most guys, Spec, they push him along very quickly. There's tons. He shouldn't be there. Is my point. He didn't even go to major junior.
Hey, man, like, I'm not going to defend this guy because I wouldn't know him if I found him in my soup. But I guess I would say to you, the AHL's not into having crappy referees that aren't ready. So there's got to be a reason he's there. Like, it doesn't behoove anyone, including the kid, to put him in a position he can't handle even remotely. So, you know what? If he passed some guys by, maybe he's better than they are. Maybe he's going to do a year or two in the AHL and he's not going anywhere. Or maybe he's the next Andy Van Hellemond, man. Like, I kind of come from the wait and see school on this one, buddy.
Yeah, you're telling me that there's the guys who've been like all the other officials that have reffed in for many years, none of them have this guy's ability to read the ice. Like, I don't know. I'm just not, like, I've had Carey Fraser and officials on the show for many years talking about how the hardest thing to learn is proper positioning. That's what leads to most of the incorrect calls. Is proper positioning. Yep. And you know what? Even when you talk to referee mentors for minor hockey referees, that's the number one thing. A, you kind of got to have a thick skin, but B, it's about knowing where's the right position to be so you have a better chance to make the right call. I don't think there's any chance after listening to these guys who have done it that 1 year in the BCHL means, hey, now you know that, like, you can go right from there to the AHL. Like, I'm not buying it. Sorry.
Okay, it seems like a big jump. Let's see what happens with this guy. That's all I got for you.
Give me your thoughts. Connor had a good question. Cody Fajardo, not what he's going to do. How many start? Like, is this Cody Fajardo has to play well to get 2 starts in a row? Or because they're doing it, do they say, hey, we got to commit now for Trey to be on the sidelines for a few games to learn if that's the point, and we're going to give Cody Fajardo multiple starts.
You know what? To me, the sign that they're doing this is it's become about wins. There's pressure to win. That's why we've either A, given up on, or B, put on hold the grooming of Trey Ford. The pressure's there to win. They're 1-4. They don't want to be 1-5. So to me, Fajardo's got to give you a chance to win tonight. Now, if the defense keeps giving up 35 points, I don't know why we keep talking about quarterbacks, because no quarterback's going to, this offense ain't getting you 40 every night, buddy. But I would say to you, it's on wins now. Fajardo wins, Fajardo plays. Fajardo doesn't win, let's talk about who's going to play.
All right. Well, I think the offense can help if they can have a few more sustained drives. That will definitely help at times. But even then, yeah, that'll help to a point. But, it wasn't like the defense was that tired every game that they couldn't get any pressure. So I don't want to give them too much of an easy out, because I just don't think they've lived up to the expectations.
We just watched two of the best teams in the league play last night. The score was 23-21. Both defenses held the other team to less than 25 points. And those are the two, again, I think with Saskatchewan, Montreal, and Calgary, I think we'd agree are the three best teams in the league right now. So that's a football game where both the defenses gave their team a chance to win. It's a close game. Montreal pulls it off at the very last minute. It was an awesome game. But if you can't keep the other team even in the 20s, right, even in the 20s on a consistent basis, you're going to have a 1-4 record, and that's what they have.
Yeah, no, it's totally true. Mark Spector joined us from Rogers Sportsnet. And Spec, as a pitcher who, you've said it many times, you didn't have great stuff. But
you called me home run Spec.
You watch Lauer and what he's doing on the mound for the Jays. Like last night, he went 8 innings strong and looked really good for 8 innings. He had a pretty funny story afterwards about his shiner on the lip, and I don't know what happened there. Did he startle a guy with his headphones on and he accidentally hit him? Who knows? But it was funny how he presented it. But what he's giving the Jays, man, like. Their big 3 starters, yeah, they've been all right, but this guy's been unbelievable for the Jays since getting the chance to start.
Well, and it's fun to watch him pitch because he really pitches. He doesn't overpower anybody. His fastball's 93, 94 tops, right? So his sequence of pitches, if you're going to strike a guy out with that fastball, 93 in the big leagues, it's slow. In real life, it's unbelievably fast, but if you're going to strike a guy out in the 93 mile an hour fastball, you have to set the pitch up properly, right? You have to have moved in, moved out, slider in, breaking ball away, maybe a sinker down, and then you hit a guy with a fastball when he doesn't think one's coming. And that's what I enjoy. I watched this whole game last night, and they really pitch. Like, he's working the zone. He's in, he's out, he's up, he's down. It's fun to watch. He reminds me a little bit of Greg Maddux was that guy. Greg Maddux never had a fastball, but man, did he get guys out one after another. So as an old pitcher, and I'm never putting myself in anywhere close to the guy we're talking about, like a million miles away. But as an old pitcher, I love to watch those guys. Sure, guys that throw 100 miles an hour, they just rear back and throw. Great. But guys who are making a living at 93 miles an hour, man, that guy's a real pitcher.
Yeah. Well, the Maddux one's fascinating. You see those stories at Smoltz and some of his catchers, they tell now later on about Maddux and how he would set guys up even early in a game, knowing that later on he was going to be in a situation where he could exploit that. It was like, they called him the professor. Like, it was a little bit like playing chess. Like, it was a game, and not, even some at bats, he's like, you know what? I can lose this at bat now, because later on I can win it where it might be in a more important situation in the game.
Well, sure. And Jay, if I get you at 2-2 and set you up and strike you out in the slider in the second inning, when you come back up in the 5th inning and it's 2-2, you're sitting in that box going, that sucker, he's coming back with that slider, right? And I'm not coming back with that slider. So that's it's not just a cat and mouse game in each at bat. It's a cat and mouse game the whole game. And that's the beauty of it. And again, when you don't get to just resort on wheeling back and throwing a 99-mile-an-hour eater when you got to think your way through every at bat. I personally, to me, that's unique to baseball. I don't think hockey or football really has that as much, and it's part of the game we love.
Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. So, Spec, what's your expectations? Let's go back and on the Elks, just on their defense. Now they got some injuries to the safety. Bynum's out as well, so now you're going to have some new faces in the secondary here. At what point does there get a little pressure here on the defense and the defensive play calling?
I think there's pressure on the guys already. I mean, I think there's pressure on the guys that not the new guys that are coming in. I don't think that Ed Hervey, when he spent a bunch of money on his defense in the offseason, was planning that after 5 games he was bringing it. Did they bring in 3 new DBs this last week?
Yeah, well, they got some injuries, so yeah, they had.
Yeah, so they brought in some guys, and I don't think, how many sacks does Jake Ceresna have? Right, not many. How many picks does that whole defensive back unit have? 0. So, to me, I mean, you tell me, are they running the wrong defense? I'm not going to sit here and tell the defensive coordinator that he should be playing a different defense. I'm looking at the players and saying, I learned, I'll tell you what, we are, Jay, this as good as anyone. We're all products of the people we've been around our whole life. And when I have this conversation with you, what comes to my mind? Terry Vaughn comes into my head. And I remember Terry Vaughn, that old receiver, right? Hall of Fame receiver, yeah. Eskimo Stamps. And we were talking one day about something, maybe offense or whatever. And he said, you know what? He says, you can run whatever offense you want. In the CFL, he says, you got to have playmakers. And you got to make plays that aren't written down by some coach in some playbook with a bunch of X's and a bunch of O's. He says, we got to make plays. He says, our offense, we're playmakers. We call ourselves the playmakers, and we do things that the coach didn't see coming. And I'm going to look at the defense of the Edmonton Elks, and I'm going to say, where's the playmakers, right? Make a play, make a sack, make a strip, make a pick, right? Drill some guy so he drops the ball. I haven't seen any playmakers among that group, and it's got to start pretty quick.
Yeah, it's very true. Well, Spec, enjoy the deck. I know you'll probably have one. You'll watch the start of the Jays game, and then you got the Elks game starting later on. So it's
it's a rough night. Rough night out here.
Tough night, eh? Enjoy it, buddy. We'll have a good one. We'll talk to you Monday.
All right. Have a great weekend, everybody.
It's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Alan Mitchell, a.k.a. Low Tide, joins us. We'll talk some football. We'll talk some baseball. And we'll talk about the Golden Palace. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
It's the Bricks Price Meltdown. Score hot summer savings like up to 40% off mattresses and a 10% instant credit towards sleep accessories. Save up to $900 off sofas and sectionals and up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages. Plus, buy more, save more on select major kitchen appliances, up to $500 off. Even more, find hot prices on Canadian-made pieces and get up to 15% off patio furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Whoop, there it is. 4 days of basketball at its best. Hoop City 2025, North America's largest FIBA 3x3 showcase. The top 4 Olympic teams on both men's and women's categories, featuring Canada's women's Olympic team, with Edmonton's own Michelle and Catherine Blue. More than just hoops. There's entertainment, long-distance shootout, Grand Slam showcase, plus interactive games and prizes for everyone. Hoop City 3x3 Basketball Festival, July 31st to August 3rd. Ice Palace and West Edmonton Mall. Admission is free, so bring the whole family.
McDonald's sundaes and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Use promo code Gregor and get 20% off your order all day, every day. That's promo code Gregor before entering your order at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through a lovely Friday afternoon as you make your way home. If you're a sports fan, there is no shortage of opportunities tonight. Of course, the surging Toronto Blue Jays. And more importantly, what about Detroit? On July 8th, Detroit is the best record in baseball. They're killing it. And then they go 1-10. Not like a little stretch, but they've won 1 of their last 11 games. They got swept by the Pittsburgh freaking Pirates. The 3rd worst record in baseball. They got swept. And how about this? The Pirates swept the best team in baseball. Meanwhile, they got swept by the White Sox, who are the 2nd worst team in baseball. Baseball is weird sport sometimes, man. Like, we can't beat the White Sox, but then we're going to beat the best team in the league 3 in a row.
What's the guy's name? Paul Skeens?
Yeah, Skeens, a pitcher.
Unreal?
He is unreal.
Unreal.
Yeah, no, he is. That, like, if there's certain athletes you're like, okay, that's who I'd want to go see, he's one of those pitchers right now. It's like Shohei Ohtani. Like, that guy is worth the price of admission.
You put Skeens on the same level?
No, Ohtani's on the level on his own because he pitches and hits.
Right.
But Skeens is, if you're going to watch a pitcher, Skeens, he would be right up there. Sklarek in Detroit would be another one. Like, I think those two are probably right now, maybe the most like the pitchers you're like, okay, I want to watch these guys. They're like, there's lots of other guys that are good. Don't get me wrong, but those two are pretty talented right now. You'd be saying, hey, I'll put down a few shekels to watch them. So there you go. Let's get to the oil report brought to you by Volvo Cars. Edmonton, you got a week, just less than a week left to get in the Discovery Day sales event. XC90 plug-in hybrids can lease or finance from 1.49% or save $7,500. Only at 13-time Excellence Award winner in sales and service, Volvo Cars Edmonton.com. As Alan Mitchell, host of the Lowdown, noon to 2 on Sports 1440. Joins us, Al. Now I'm gonna throw you a little curveball on the oil report because I know you're big on Oiler draft picks. You wrote the book on it. You remember a young Ben Betker, Al?
Yes, Ben Betker was like 6'7", and I think he might have been. Now it's hurting my brain doing this, but I think he might have been part of the 2015 orientation camp that famously had McDavid, Draisaitl, and Darnell Nurse. It was unusual to bring 3 first-round draft picks from the previous season because it was usually just for the guys who were just drafted and maybe the previous year. But they brought in like 13, 14, and 15. Nurse came from the 13th because they wanted them to gel and develop chemistry. I think Betker might have been on that orientation roster, but that's a stretch. I might be wrong.
Well, that would have been that would have been 2 years after his draft, so very possible. And he was turning pro that year, so in 15-16. So you're probably right, Al. He went to the ECHL, had some time in the AHL, and then played, I think, 6 seasons in Europe. He finished 1 year of reffing now in the BCHL, and then got signed directly to the NHL pipeline. Is now right in the American League. Like, I don't know.
Nice.
Like, see, I don't think it's nice. I think it's a real problem for the officiating in the NHL that you're trying to force feed guys into positions they're not ready for.
Well, how many years as an official does he have so far?
1 in the
And then
BCHL.
He's in the what league is he in now?
Now he got signed by the NHL, and that means he'll start in the American League.
Right. So, I mean, I guess, maybe you want players to, or you want the officials to have many, many years, but I don't have a problem with fast tracking them. If he's qualified, if he's shown the ability. There was another former Oiler draft pick who ended up being an official too. I do not remember his name, but my brain is hurting now. Many years ago, he was signed, I believe, by the Oilers, and he quit maybe a year or two in, and he ended up being an official.
Oh yeah, no, he's in the NHL right now, and his name is escaping me, but I'll figure it out before the end of this interview. He's
okay.
Well, he was in the NHL. He's been in the NHL for a few years now. Oh God, I'll have to think about it. But
if you don't know LT and Gregor doesn't know, I don't think he ever existed. What do you think about that?
Listen, all I know is that neither Gregor or I bought an Eberle jersey while watching him play as a rookie. That belongs to you. As far as legendary status is concerned, I think that takes the cake.
Well, I accept your praise. I saw photos of Jordan Eberle the other day on his wife's Instagram. He looks good, but time has marched on. I'll put it that way.
Well, it does for all of us. That's why I don't allow any photos of myself. So.
Al, let's switch over to the Elks. What's your expectation for the green and gold, and specifically Cody Fajardo?
Well, I mean, he's a good veteran CFL quarterback. I think he'll have great impetus to play well. But and I think he will. He obviously knows Regina fans very well, having played there for some time. I would guess that no matter how well he plays, if the defense keeps playing so softly off of the receivers, where they can get 5 or 6 yak yards before anybody even touches them, it's going to be a long night no matter what. If the defense plays tighter, then I think Fajardo might have an impact on the game. But I also think Trey Ford may end up getting some snaps too. It feels like it's wide open, to be honest.
Now, Ford getting snaps, are we talking like just on set plays, or is it he comes in and he's going to get a few series?
Well, I think he should. For me, if this is open season now, they want to win this game. They're desperate to win the game. So if you start the game with Fajardo and you have 3 or 4 series and nothing's happening, then I don't have a problem being Trey Ford. I sat at Commonwealth and watched Hugh Campbell do that with Tom Wilkinson and Warren Moon. So, right now Fajardo's, they're giving him a little leash here, but the idea is that, and I mean, look, I know the prevailing wisdom is, you leave the guy in there and build his confidence, but they don't have time. They got to win football games. So if you're moving the ball, great. But if you're not, then I don't have a quarrel with especially now, because they're sort of, I think it's more of a competition now than it was 2 weeks ago. But Ford didn't, if Ford lost this starting role in a pretty weak, 1 week effort. And I think that's, I think you have to be able to, give him an opportunity should it arise, should there be a need. Like if they're down 17 at the half and they played Fajardo the whole first half, then I mean, bring him in. I mean, Trey Ford had a hell of a week 2 weeks ago, man.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Jake Brink, Al.
Right.
Jake
That's
Brink
it.
is the
there you go.
There he is.
Draft pick of the Oilers. That's an NHL official now. So it's happened before, but I don't think he had 1 year in junior A before going.
What they should have done is have Mark Messier referee. That would have been fun. Man.
Fine idea.
There'd be no elbowing calls. They'll tell you, oh, that's just a wee scratch, right? That's it. Ain't nothing.
Messier, it would be like another game with no penalties as Mark Messier referees a game.
Oh, well,
man.
I'm not sure it could be much worse than what we've seen lately, but anyway,
well.
we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing though. So Cody Fajardo came in on short yardage for Ford. So does Ford go in on short yardage plays for Fajardo?
Well, I mean, I want to know what the coach was thinking. Did he think that a veteran would be more reliable on those short
No,
yardage
they
plays?
just,
I don't know.
yeah, lots of teams like to have their backup do it now just because they're worried about, him getting banged up, right?
Oh, well, yeah, well, and I think Ford is like, what I love about Ford is that, he's got great wheels. So from the point of view of like, bringing him in on a play like that, I think it gives you more options and it gives the defense more to be concerned about because, you can, if it's third and inches, you can play it like that straight up. But he could walk around if they're all bunched up, he could walk around for 20 yards. He's got that kind of speed.
No, it definitely could. It's the one play where at bare minimum I would, and I wouldn't just have him go under center. I would have a fake and try to get him outside. So especially if it's second. Right, if it's third, you got to get the first down. But if it's second and a bit, I'd be like, hey, I'm pretty confident that if we don't get it on the first one, we can get it on the second one.
That's fair. That's fair. They have to bring out I'm not saying it's flea flicker city tonight, but they have to look. Right now, I think they're pretty predictable. Certainly on defense and maybe on offense a little bit too. So open up the playbook a little bit. I think.
Yeah, would definitely wouldn't hurt.
It's summer, LT, when Gregor's beefing with new AHL referees.
Well, it just follows my point of what I wrote about the massive reduction in penalties called. Like we're talking the lowest power play opportunity for a game in NHL history this past year. And how many times did people, that should have been a penalty, like lots of people complaining, right? And not just in Edmonton. I saw it online, lots of other teams. And then you look, they got a lot of inexperienced officials. And the number one thing, Carey Fraser, when I asked Carey Fraser, like, what would lead you to making a missed call? Because everybody misses a call. He's like, being in the wrong position. And that's so much about that is experience. So this to me is not necessarily, I think there's a chance that way better chance that this ends poorly than goes well for the NHL moving forward. And I get that they had lots of guys retire, but it wasn't like they had a good enough succession plan built up in place.
Well, look, that is very fair. You should always have, you should roll through, the leagues of I don't even know how many officials there are, but a certain percentage should be newbies. Like you can't have everybody, Bruce Hood's age. You can't do that. You have to have, younger players coming in, younger officials coming in just to keep, the ball rolling kind of thing. So I get that. I agree with that totally. I just think, Betker might be a great official. I don't know. Maybe he just blew away the league, the BCHL. They were like, oh my God, this is the best play calling we've ever seen in our life from a referee. I don't know that, but, I'm probably wrong, but I see your point. The fact that he's a hockey player before, I don't know that, at least he knows the rules, Gregor.
Well, yeah, maybe, sure. But I don't know. Having talked to so many officials about it, I can tell you it's also a pretty big slap in the face for the guys who put in all the time. And this guy's like 1 year in the league. And I'm like, come on, it's 1 year in the league. Like it's rare to have like a referee savant. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and you make a good point there, and I didn't think about that. If I've been toiling in the AHL for 5 years, and the Betker gets the call in front of me, I would say, what the hell? That would be an eyebrow raiser for sure. So you make a great point there. I didn't think of that.
And Al, quickly, I know you follow baseball very closely. You look at this Jays team, and last night they hit 3 home runs, which is key because I think they've shown they can slap the ball around and beat you up with singles and speed on the bases and good base running and timely doubles and such. But in baseball, you do need some round trippers, and they got some last night. And then they got an unreal performance from Lauer. It's sustainable. And how big of a swing do you think Jays management should take before the trade deadline next week?
Well, I think they need 3 pieces. They need a starter who he doesn't have to be better than Gausman, but he has to be a guy who can win you a playoff game. That's what I think.
Okay.
And so that's like Merrill Kelly in Arizona. I'd love Jacob deGrom, but if they want to go with Merrill Kelly, that's fine. Then I think they do need an arm in the bullpen. They've got a lot of injuries there. They had a good bullpen, but the injuries have hurt it. And then I'd like to see a lefty bat. Josh Naylor just went to Seattle last night, and I know he's a first baseman, so he'd have to DH in Toronto. But that's the kind of bat that they need. You're right. They need a lefty home run hitter, a guy who can drive the ball and hit it hard and hit the ball out because it's still a home run league. they're running more, and they're they don't bunt anymore, but there's doubles and running and stolen bases, but it's still a home run league, and they need to have a little more power from the left side, I think.
Yeah. No, it's going to be it'll be fascinating to watch, man. They are entertaining as all heck right now. Like, they're never out of the game. It's just it's enjoyable to watch for sure. So,
yep, you bet.
LT, have yourself a wonderful weekend. We will chat with you on Monday.
You bet. You guys have a great weekend too.
There you go. That's Al Mitchell, aka Lowdown with Low Tide 12 to 2 weekdays on Sports 1440. We'll come back. We got Wanye's World, and we got a lot of text on wrestling, refereeing, football, and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta, DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
Whoop, there it is. 4 days of basketball at its best. Hoop City 2025, North America's largest FIBA 3x3 showcase. The top 4 Olympic teams on both men's and women's categories, featuring Canada's women's Olympic team, with Edmonton's own Michelle and Catherine Bluth. More than just hoops, there's entertainment, long-distance shootout, Grand Slam showcase, plus interactive games and prizes for everyone. Hoop City 3x3 Basketball Festival, July 31st to August 3rd, Ice Palace and West Edmonton Mall. Admission is free, so bring the whole family.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save on Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save on Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Need the perfect ride? The Golf Cart people have it. They offer a wide selection of new and used models from top brands like Club Car, Yamaha, and E-Z-Go. Whether it's a lifted cart for adventure or a sleek ride for the course, they'll find your match. Customize with accessories or choose a ready-to-go option. Trusted by Albertans since 1997 for quality. Visit golfcartpeople.com to find your cart and hit the road or fairway your way.
McDonald's Sundaes and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by UL. Get your power play amped up with UL, supplying the city of champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. UL.ca is your partner in power.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.42. Welcome back. We wrap up a busy week in the Jason Gregor Show. Next week, we got some really cool guests lined up. I did not know that there was like an all-American star track athlete in our city. So can have that athlete on the show. Also, something that I think most of you who, as a sports fan, the closer you can get to the action, the better the experience is. Right now, in a lot of cases, the closer seats, they're the most expensive. But what if you could get as close as possible for free? We'll tell you how to do that Wednesday, 3:00. So I think that's going to intrigue lots of people.
When you told me the hack, this is truly a valuable hack for a sports fan to know.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know about it. I don't even know if I'd call it a hack, but whatever you want to call it as a sport. Yeah, get away. You're right. It's a kind of a little bit of a hack.
It's a hack.
Yeah. I think it's probably a hack.
And if this particular sport isn't your thing, the clever listener may figure out a similar hack For other sports they love.
Yeah. So no, that's good. Let's get to Wanye's World now, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50. That's Gregor50. Get a free $50 play when you sign up. Every month you can get a new one. PlayAlberta.ca.
What? It's a bit of a slow time. I want to keep the wrestling talk going here and take a look at the text line and see what's coming in.
Well, we're just lots of the wrestling. Well, the spinoff one got a lot of topics as well, but the wrestling for obviously lots of fans. You go back to like from Kurt, he had Abdullah the Butcher, Don, Leo, Jonathan, Archie the Stomper goalie. Like that's going back to kind of the original days of Stampede Wrestling. Hey guys, Al Omerain's farm was east of Sherwood Park. Well, there you go. And now here's another one. Hey Gregor, everyone has a good handle like all the wrestlers. So what is Wanye's? What's his real name? If you haven't answered this before, we're not allowed to say his real name on air, big Dooley. So
a judge was very clear that I'm not allowed to say my real name on the radio.
Yeah. Hey, Gregor, years ago, my mom worked at the Bay downtown as well as did Cuban Assassin's future wife. My mom was a maid of honor, and bad news was the best man at the wedding. We just seen that pic again a few months ago. Cuban's wife was exact same haircut that he had from Espo. That's unreal.
Crazy.
So your mom was the maid of honor at the Cuban Assassin and his wife's wedding. So you know, they have the first dance, and then she's dancing with the Bad News Allen. Oh, that is classic. Guys, Stampede Wrestling should be required viewing in schools. Danny YYC.
So explain to me, like, was this a coast-to-coast show you could watch, or was it only like Western
it was
Canada?
on like CTV.
National?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't think CTV back then had regional capabilities. I think whatever was on, like, you got to remember, dude, like there's talking Peasant Vision. We had three channels, and it was on, I'm pretty sure it was CTV. Yeah. Was it on ITV? God, now I don't know what channel it was on. I just, wherever Ed Whalen, I don't even remember the channel because I know we had CTV, you had CBC, and then you had, back then it was ITV. And of course we had the French channel 11. That's what I had as Peasant Vision out at the farm. Now, when I moved into the city, you know, I got cable. It's like a big deal in cable. But when I watched Stampede Wrestling, so I know it was on Canadian because it was my grandpa's, obviously didn't have cable out at the farm. And I thought it was on CTV, but maybe now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it was ITV. Maybe it was only on Western Canada. It's a really good question. I don't know the answer. Anybody else know the answer to that one? I don't know. So it would be quite good. Hey guys, I went to Bret Hart's house a couple of years ago. He's a fan of my cousin's band, so the whole band went over for a barbecue. Told us some crazy stories about Vince McMahon. It's pretty cool. Couldn't imagine. Yeah, well, we had Bret on the show. He was unreal.
Yeah, didn't he say on the show that they never paid them for Stampede Wrestling? The WWE did a deal. Vince McMahon, or WWF at the time, did a deal with them
to get them to,
but then didn't pay.
Oh, I think you're right there. Yeah. Well, some of the guys left. You're right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Not a surprise when you read some of the stuff of old Vinny. There's not, some business guys might be very good businessmen. Doesn't mean they have very good scruples.
I would put Vince McMahon in that category. Yes.
Yes. He would be near the top of the list. And it was on CTV. Darren says, yes, 3:00 on Saturdays. I knew it was 3:00. Yeah, it was CTV for sure. So there you go. I love it. Boys, we used to watch it in Prince George. Love that stuff from Glacier. There you go. Yeah. So
Western Canada.
It was at least Western Canada for sure. But I don't know if back then you had capabilities to have like 3:00 in the, CTV West, and then CTV East had different. Like, I don't know if they did that or not. It's a really good question. I guess they must have, because certain shows wouldn't all start at like, if you had the whatever was the comedy show that night, it wasn't starting at 5:00 Edmonton and 7:00 Eastern. So maybe some shows were just regional. So guys, we had a lot of it out in Vancouver, so we definitely had it out west. I'd have to ask anybody out east if they ever knew about Stampede Wrestling. Probably not. They're not as refined and educated as Western Canadians.
Was there an Eastern Canadian version of Stampede Wrestling? Because I remember I watched a thing about the WWF coming together.
I know there was Maple Leaf Wrestling, but I don't know where that came from.
There's all these regional wrestling leagues that they bought up.
Yeah. So Maple Leaf Wrestling, I think, was back. I think Maple Leaf Wrestling was back back around then. And like I know it was around the 1980s for sure. And it started even, I think like it started even before Stampede Wrestling. Like Maple Leaf Wrestling, I think was like the first wrestling one in Canada, like 1930, if I'm not mistaken.
On TV?
Well, obviously not on TV. There wasn't TV in 1930. Does there? I don't think so.
It's a good question.
No, I don't think there was TV in 1930.
Let me ask artificial intelligence.
Yeah. So
first TV, 1928.
Oh,
like how was the first transatlantic broadcast?
Transatlantic.
Yeah, the first demonstrated moving images was 1925.
Right.
Between rooms.
Really? So like, but when did it become like the average person?
Early 1950s, it says.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. That's what I thought. So
what an amazing decade to have been alive. When you start the 1950s, no one has TV.
Well, you have radio. Like, remember, people would sit around the radio like it was a big deal. I was explaining that to my son the other day, just over dinner, how about the order games where you had, used to be a hockey night in Canada. It was Saturday, and that was it. And he was like, what? You had hockey one day a week? I'm like, yeah. I said, but then I do remember when, like, in the early 80s, they got IT. And so the orders had, I think, like 15 games a year to start. Right? I said, that's why Rod Phillips was such a big deal, because if you wanted to follow the game, you listened to it on the radio. And so I was telling my son about it. I said, so the next time, why don't you just lay in bed? Because it's unreal how you can listen to it. And one of his friends, George, like, oh yeah, my dad, we do that sometimes where we'll just listen to the game. And he goes, I quite like it. Right? Because it forces you, I find, it comes a little bit more theater of the mind for sure.
I can remember getting so worked up based on what Rod Phillips was mad at listening to the games back in the day. Because he used to take it to the referees, and because you couldn't make the call yourself and decide if it was a terrible call or not, you'd be firmly on Rod's side.
Oh, well, God, yeah, Rod. But he made it like if people were saying, man, if you would have watched the replay on that, it wasn't nearly that bad. But that's what you're supposed to do.
And sold it.
And you're advertising or you're broadcasting to your fan base, right? Like they're Oiler fans. You want to be what the ref screwed us over. He screwed us over. Hey, guys, a reminder, Happy Gilmore 2 came out today. I'm excited to watch it, JC. Well, JC, guess what? If you're excited to watch it, you should be really excited to go listen to the podcast of the show, because we had actor, writer Chris Teton from Happy Gilmore, who turns out Happy Gilmore 2, he was in it, also is Adam Sandler's brother-in-law. So he was on the show in the 3 o'clock hour today. So you might want to go check that one out, jasongregor.com, where you get the archives, or anywhere where you get your podcasts is what you can do it. So it's awesome. Hey, Gregor, we got Stampede Wrestling in Manitoba growing up. Well, there you go. Now we're getting farther. We know that we've got Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC covered for sure. For sure. So, yeah. And well, the other thing I realized later was when Ed would call, he was actually also the voice of the Flames. That blew my mind. Ed Whalen was on Stampede Wrestling, and he was like unreal.
No way.
Yeah. And then I was just like, he called the Flames? Like, to me, he was the wrestling guy. He literally, you thought he was part of the show, right? Like, he was so good he would get fired up, man. Like, he was great at building because back then there was the heels, and no one ever liked the heels for the most part. Although I did like Cuban Assassin. I thought it was pretty funny. But you used to like Duke Myers, and then like you didn't like him at all, right? And that's what we were talking earlier about Mark Raimondi, about Hulk Hogan. Is when he became the heel in NWO. It was kind of like the first time where people could be like, counter culture was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to root for the bad guy. And they became wildly popular because that didn't really happen before. So the odd person, of course, would like them, but rarely would the whole crowd be loving the heel or the bad guy. And that's what NWO became.
Was Hulk Hogan the first megastar wrestler? Like,
no. Ric Flair was a pretty big star before him, and there you go back behind him, but Hulk Hogan was the biggest, right? Like, I don't think there was anybody, and we talked to Mark and other guys, like you've had The Rock and younger generation be like, oh, come on. But if you just look at, no one sold more tickets, and that's what he judged it by. No one sold more tickets than Hulk Hogan.
How do you judge that Hulk Hogan sold the ticket?
Because he was the main headline,
I see.
Right? And people, you would go for the headline. And he was like, I looked, the first 8 of the first 9 WrestleManias, he was the headline.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's when you're the big show. Even though there was a big show later, that was his nickname, but he was never the big show. Not at all. Hey, guys, I skipped the afternoon, went home to watch Happy Gilmore. Fun to watch. Go watch it from Hollywood. Well, there you go. Thanks. No spoilers. I will be finding time. Now, here's a question for you. I should ask this earlier. Think I could let my 11-year-old son watch the original Happy Gilmore?
Original one?
Yeah.
Any issues with swear words, punching?
Yeah, well, he's heard, punching, whatever. Like I think he's probably close, right? Like he's going to be 12 soon. I think I could probably, because he's been asking me. So I was like, let's go. Like, let's just ask random listeners. I think that's the best parenting I could do. What do the random listeners think about 11, soon to be 12-year-old to watch Happy? I think you could. Have a great weekend, everyone. Please don't drink and drive. Get home safe. On behalf of Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Donovan Paulson, running things at Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook. Have a great weekend. We will chat with you on Monday. Let's get to the Command Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Ewell, your one-stop shop for all things electrical, ewel.ca. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Week 8 in the CFL rolls on tonight. The Edmonton Elks taking on the Riders. Kickoff set for 7 p.m. Cody Fajardo will make his first start under center for the Elks. The Edmonton Riverhawks kicking off a series tonight in Kelowna, taking on the Falcons. That'll start at 7:35. And in the CEBL, we're 30 minutes away from tip-off as the Stingers in Winnipeg taking on the Sea Bears. Major League Baseball, Jays in action, top of the fourth. They trail the Tigers 1-0. Elsewhere, Reds up on the Rays 1-0 as well. Yankees lead the Phillies 2-0, and the Rockies trail the Orioles 4-1 in the top of the third. Later tonight, Braves taking on the Rangers. You got the Astros and Athletics. Nationals take on the Twins. Angels host the Mariners. Mets in San Fran. Earlier today, it was the Marlins getting past the Brewers 5-1, and Royals Guardians postponed due to weather. They'll make that one up tomorrow in a doubleheader. 3 games in the WNBA tonight. Phoenix in New York. Vegas takes on Minnesota, and Golden State hosting Dallas. And the saga is over. Cincinnati Bengals signing first-round pick defensive end Shamar Stewart to a 4-year contract worth $18.9 million, including a $10.4 million signing bonus. He's now officially under contract and ready to go. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it's Fox Sports Radio. We've got live local coverage resuming tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with the Saturday Sports Setup, followed by the Basketball Show and Blue Jays Baseball. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440.